The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Coach Us Up Chuck, Wednesday, October 27th, 2021, years after the year zero. This show begins right now. Yeah. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. Shout out to you for listening on SiriusXM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio and watching alongside at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. You all are the absolute greatest humans of all time for, allowing us dumbasses to partake in your afternoons every Monday through Friday. We have a big announcement coming. It's awesome. It's crazy. It'll be in a few weeks, and we can't thank everybody enough. I just want to make sure I say that. And whenever you see the announcement, whenever it breaks via us, I assume, because I am not great at things. There's some things that have to get tidied up.
Sure. Dot some I's.
Cross some T's.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sign some names.
Sure.
Yep. Read through some. Are you trying to fuck me right here? A lot of that. There's going to be a little bit of that.
Right.
But when it comes, just know that you're the fucking greatest humans of all time. Anyways, let's get to this sports show today. There's a lot of news coming out of the owners' meetings happening currently. We will have Ian Rappaport join us today as opposed to tomorrow, his normal slot, because he is actually at the owners' meetings where a lot of shit is popping off right now. I mean, there's a lot of conversations. There's about protesting. There's stories. There's investigations. There's Roger Goodell appearing to not be the greatest speaker I've ever seen in my life, because it feels like he is potentially feeling a little bit more heat with how serious all this stuff is. He's stumbling, saying things that people are saying is a lie. He's saying it isn't a lie, and it's only just beginning. It feels like there's going to become a kaboom at some point with the NFL. Ian Rappaport's right in the middle of all of it. I can't wait to chat with him. We do know that he is an employee of the NFL, and he works for NFL.com and NFL Network. So whenever we talk to him, we will take his information as such, but it'll be nice to have some boots on the ground over there, and we can't thank Ian for joining us enough. And in the second hour, jet passing.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're gassing up the jet. It's return of the jet. We're gassing up the jet because the World Series is happening. And obviously I knew that yesterday before I was told that the World Series was starting yesterday, because I knew that this Atlanta Braves team could hit.
Oh, yeah. Good squad.
Hey, they got good bats over there. Good wood on the Atlanta Braves. Now, on the flip side, Houston Astros at home last night, laid an egg. All right? First hit, a home run. See you later. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Jeez.
We'll talk jet passing about why it matters. I did not know the thing was starting yesterday. I tried to watch it. It was only the third inning at 9:54 p.m. What the fuck are we doing over there? It is a great time to be a baseball fan, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Best time to be a baseball.
One of the storylines, guy last night pitched with a broken leg. Incredibly impressive, no matter how boring the sport is to watch during the regular season. World Series is electrifying. Incredible story about a guy breaking his leg in the game, still pitching, winning. Jet Passon has all the inside information about what we should be looking for and who's going to win. Because I do love the fact that the Braves won by more than 1.5 runs last night. I will say that is fantastic. Shout out to Gump, by the way. Hammer down. Shout out to Gump and Tone Diggs, obviously. Hammer down boys giving us the baseball bets so we can make money off sports we don't watch, just like soccer. Speaking of sports we don't watch, basketball's happening. I guess we'll probably talk about that at some point. Russell Westbrook's playing good. I don't know. And then AJ Hawk and Chuck Pagano. It's a great day to have a great day. We can't thank you enough. We hope to have your phone calls at 1-833-4McAfee on the 5-hour energy phone line. The boys are here at the Toxic Table at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Ty, let's start with you. Some football news. Although Davante Adams has already basically been ruled out of this Thursday night matchup tomorrow night. That is prime time, premier football. Cardinals, Pack. How you doing? Keep it moving. This is game of the year thus far. Davante Adams out, Joe Barry out, and now Alan Lazard out, all because Uncle COVID is running a train through Lambeau. What the fuck is going on? This is not good news, Todd.
Yeah, I don't know. That one hurts because the Davante one was like, obviously huge news, but it seemed like this kind of just like slipped under the rug. Like we didn't really hear all day if there were going to be multiple other guys in the receivers room that were going to get it. I mean, Shefty alluded to it on Monday Night Football at halftime, but I hadn't really heard anything else, so I kind of just assumed they were going to have their full stable. But he does a lot. He's big in the run game, too. He's a great blocker. But I said before we came on air, I still feel like the Packers are going to win this game.
It does feel like one of those games where Aaron could potentially do something magical. And this could be a game with all the players out for Green Bay that are very important, and players coming back for the Cardinals off of the COVID list, like Chandler Jones coming back.
Yeah.
Huge.
Game changer. Yeah. I mean, that is huge. So is this a game where the Cardinals, even though you would assume that with J.J. Watt, the guy who, he plays a busted nose.
Yeah, maybe we're just better.
Hey, maybe we're just better. I watched him turn an entire city upside fucking down when he scored a touchdown against us on a prime time. I mean, he was turned down for what was playing in Houston. And not only is he on every single page of the program down there, which he is, every commercial on the Jumbotron, then he was on offense, defense. I think he was even on special teams at one point, and turned down for what came on, where he either had a fumble recovery, an interception, a fucking touchdown, whatever it could have been, whatever J.J. Watt has done. He's standing on the bleachers going like this with that, and the whole crowd is singing along. I'm like, God damn, this guy's like a maestro. I don't know if J.J. Watt has it in him to have a letdown game, potentially because the other team doesn't have their full arsenal, but this is certainly a game that in years past, this young Cardinals team would potentially take their foot off the gas. I only know that because I have bet alongside this Cardinals team ever since I seen Kyler Murray hit a little stop and go and score a touchdown around a professional athlete. I was like, okay, that's a guy that is unstoppable. Then he has Hopkins on the team, and it was electrifying on defense. So I just bet alongside them. It was a heartbreaking year because some games they would show up, some games they would not. It would just be a completely different squad. Talked to Kyler Murray after the season. He said, we got to be more consistent every single day. We got to be consistent in our work, in our process, blah, blah, blah. They acknowledge it. It seems like they've turned the corner.
Yeah.
And they could, hey, if that buzzsaw gets going tomorrow night, with the lack of Devontae and now Lazard, and if that
very banged up in the secondary too,
and with the Cardinals potentially the way they can score, how they can score, the defense, how they can create turnovers, and not that the Green Bay Packers are, but that could get. Or I could see it being like a Packers game where they somehow make this a win, and Aaron Rodgers somehow does. You're gonna end up getting like 7-8 points by the time this thing kicks off. Aaron Rodgers in 7 and a touchdown going into anywhere, you would think, I'm betting on Aaron Rodgers no matter what. And I think that's how people are viewing it, though, is this Cardinals team could be at the maturity level that they are like, hey, it doesn't matter who we're playing, how we're playing, what's on the team, what isn't on the team. We got a ball. And it's a big test tomorrow night. This is a massive game on the schedule.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, they have been consistent thus far. Notwithstanding cover, like they've only had a couple games where it was like, oh, okay, they could lose this. But outside of that, they've been pedal to the metal pretty much. But also, I mean, I do think they're going to win, but it is kind of easier going in. Not that you have like a built-in excuse because all these guys are expecting to win anyway, but it's like the offense is going to look much, if they do go out and they lose, it's like, okay, well, you had, 2 of your top receivers weren't playing. So, and hopefully that's not going to happen again for the rest of the season.
A big conversation about tomorrow is what's the risk-free same-game parlay?
Yeah.
We've been thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
We've been keeping an eye on where COVID's been bouncing around in Lambeau, too.
That's right.
Because maybe Devontae was definitely going to be a part of the same game parlay.
Oh, yeah. He would have scored.
Most likely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now do we think, Randall Cobb. Aaron and Randall, pretty tight.
Yeah.
On the same page a lot.
Both just said they still got a bag of tricks they haven't unveiled yet. So.
Look for Randall. Is that going to end up on the risk-free same-game parlay?
Whoa.
Possibility.
Wow.
Aaron Jones probably going to have a big game.
Oh, so he's probably going to score?
He might find his way
Have
in there.
to.
Oh, and then you go on the other side. D-Hop's going to score, right? Yeah, D-Hop's going to score. And then we got to figure out who else. Will Ertz make it 2 for 2? You think Ertz is going to find the end zone? I'd assume there's a chance. So what I'm saying is, I think tomorrow's game is setting up nicely for how we go about doing risk-free same-game parlays. Now, the council will meet tomorrow morning. And we do hope that the NFL has announced completely who is in and who is out by the time the council meets, because that was something that almost came into play last week, even though we didn't hit a single leg. There was somebody that was going to be, which I don't know if that's more impressive. I don't know if it's more impressive to hit 0 than having like 4 out of 5, which has happened a couple of times. Having 0 hit. But there was somebody who was going to potentially be on there that we took off last minute that ended up being ruled out of the game, and it was like, okay, kind of got the football gods going in our favor. Because what happens if we do that and then all of a sudden they're ruled out by the game? What do we do with the risk-free same-game parlay? What will FanDuel do? What will we do? How will we get around that? Or is that thing just null and void and we got to push back another week? Because I don't want that, because it's time for this thing to hit. It's time for the risk-free same-game parlay to make a lot of hay for a lot of people that are on the sport. I don't know how many states have FanDuel right now. I think it's 7, maybe 8. It's growing, I think, by the week. Some people know, I think, more than other people about when the states will be getting on board. So I think that's good news, because if we don't know, but maybe there is some conversations happening somewhere about states going on, that means they're probably close, and they could drop overnight. There's a lot of handshaking. How you doing? Keep it moving. But this Thursday night football game with the Packers traveling into Arizona, with how the Bird Gang's playing and the Red Sea will be cheering and how electrifying all of Phoenix will be, it's setting up very well for our same-game parlay. And it's going to be an honor when this is the first one that hits. It's going to be an absolute honor when this thing hits, because once one hits, guess what? Then we're just taking the lid off.
Yeah, boom. That's right.
Boom. Then the bucket's a lot wider. You know what? The hole on the green's a little bit wider. All of a sudden, those putts that are 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 3 out of 4, rimming out, rim job city. Nah. Those ones, guess what? Falling.
In the bucket.
How you doing?
Keep it moving to the next one. And that's why I'm excited for tomorrow night. At Boston Connor, you've been trying to shoehorn Mac Jones into the conversation.
Of course.
For the last few days. We actually had a top 5 graphic of quarterbacks and their receiving yards and touchdowns and everything, or passing yards and touchdowns. And you were complaining loudly about how could we please make this a completion percentage graphic, top 5 in the NFL, because Mac Jones is going to be up.
It's important stat.
So Mac Jones is balling, got the Chargers this weekend. You have said openly out there, biggest game he's ever seen.
That's right.
Why is this game so big between the Patriots and the Chargers?
Because this is the first game that if we do win, you can finally consider the Patriots a real team. I mean, we've only beaten the Jets and the Texans. Who gives a shit? We've been close to beating
the Broncos.
Yeah, exactly. We've been close to beating good teams, and we've just lost, so who cares? And if we end up beating the Chargers off a bye after they look pretty bad against the Ravens, I think that's a pretty legitimate little stamp on Mac Jones in the season.
I'm a little bit worried that you are very pumped for Halloween weekend.
Very.
You've actually been the leader of the call for us to all wear costumes on Friday.
Have to do it.
Yeah, so I think Friday's a little bit early. It's 2 days before Halloween. If we were to all dress up in costumes, it's potentially, hey, doing too much. But I heard your passion about it. I heard others. And we will now be dressing up on Friday.
Here we go.
And you said you're not taking your costume off for the entire weekend.
That's right, until Sunday.
So you are pumped for this weekend. You are excited for this weekend. Chargers off a bye after getting embarrassed is not. I mean, that is a tall
revenge game.
task.
Also a revenge game.
Hunter Henry
got killed last year.
Yeah, we did beat them by 40 last year in that stadium. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. I mean, this is one of those ones where you would have loved.
Is your mullet in the costume? Is this helping the costume, hurting the costume? Is the mullet a part of the costume?
I mean, I think the mullet helps me every day, Pat, but with the costume, absolutely. I would say that it is an integral part of what I am dressing up as.
Okay, the mullet does help you every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because when people see you, they're like, hey, that guy over there, good guy.
I was at the grocery store. Some lady said, did you lose a bet? Why does your hair look like that? I said, en contraire, mon frere. This is just because I love this hair.
Well, if it was, I respect that and appreciate that, but if it was a lady, that's not mon frere.
Yeah, that's right. It's monsieur, I think.
Monsieur, sir's sister, frere's brother.
There it is. Yeah.
We got to do a full French conversation yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
It was good.
It was pretty good. We were learning about the French Revolution.
Yeah, our accents were on point, I've heard.
We were right.
That's right.
I appreciate you, man. We're gonna be dressed up on Friday. You think you're gonna bring it, huh? The hype. Yeah. Hey, for people that are watching and listening, the hype around Connor's costume is almost the same as Mac Jones. It is.
Well,
that is.
Mac Jones is no hype. I mean, that guy's a ball slinger. We know that he's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
I understand that. You got Mac Jones, who shirt. You got the no bull shoes on that you have not taken off.
Always.
Since you learned that Mac Jones was a no bull partner, or whatever the case is. And no bulls are the athletic version of Toms.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would say of Tom's. Tom's are pretty athletic in their own.
No, Tom's a great company. Okay, they donate those shoes and everything like that. It was a great thing.
Okay.
I had a couple Toms. They were very comfortable. When they even got into the furry Toms game, those were best slippers in town. I mean, they were the absolute best slippers in town. But I do believe the No Bull people just said, hey, how'd you make those? We're going to make them. We're going to make them a little bit more athletic. And you've been wearing them every day.
That's right.
And I just assume that they are going to fall apart, fall into pieces at some point. Those things are just as sturdy as they were the first time
That's
you wore
right.
those
And
things.
they say no bull on them. So it's not as if, you put these shoes on. Hey, those are kind of like Tom's. It's like, no, these are no bulls, brother. That's why it says no bull on it. It's a no bull season, baby.
No bullshit.
No bullshit. All bull.
You're into Mac Jones, though, but this costume, I would say, very similar type atmosphere from you.
Yeah. No, I'm fired up about it. I haven't really had this chance. This is the first time I've had this bucket. I feel like I've had a lot of different hairstyles in my day, but this is the first time, and this hopefully is the forever one, pending, when Roman gets my pills in here for my hair loss. But I do
is that
believe...
a little bit on back order?
Perhaps. I do
What's
believe...
going on? Well, how come we can't get goddamn
Jeez
pills?
I'm just assuming, Roman's helping out so many people these days that, everybody's asking for something from Roman, and I don't want to take
Well, that's
any-
what they want. They deserve it.
Exactly.
But we need to get you some pills on there. What are you talking about? You think you think you're not going to be able to last long in bed?
I already know that. I think that there's a chance that my hair might end up,
the Roman hair
thinning
pills.
out at some point.
Roman has so much.
That's right.
Know.
Yeah. They do help a lot. And the swipes, they've done their job for me at least. But I'm just saying, I do believe my hair might end up getting a little too thin to the point of no return. And I want to make sure we don't get there.
No, it looks great.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you, and I'm happy that you found your forever helmet. But that is the perfect haircut to have for Halloween.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like people who have facial hair who need a mustache for Halloween. Like, hey, perfect, got the mustache for it. I did. I grew an entire beard operation.
Yeah.
So I could be Lieutenant Dangle. So I could just shave so I could have the mustache one time in college. Yeah. That type of commitment to the facial hair. The mullet, though. I mean, it is such a I cannot wait to see what you're not. He said he's going to wear it for 72 straight hours.
That's right.
It was unbelievable.
Respect.
And I will, just because I love it that much. I did think of another costume just in case I do have to switch it up. But also, I haven't been committed to the beard. This is strictly a Halloween beard that I've been growing out for addition to my costume. A little Salt Bay sprinkle on what it might be.
Hey, leaving a trail of evidence.
That's right. Hansel and Gretel.
Of course. They gave 2 thumbs up, right?
And they left a trail of breadcrumbs.
Got it. Oh, yeah.
You're thinking of Siskel and Ebert.
So actually, they
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
They are the people.
Yep.
That's right.
Hey, I don't know what's up with Siskel and Ebert, if they're still fucking judging people or
don't
not.
think so.
They're starting to come after those Nielsen folks, though.
that?
I guess Nielsen's about to get. I guess
About
Nielsen's
to get got?
Chop down.
I think, a lot of people have had questions about the Nielsen ratings. Like, how can this be anywhere near accurate with the way people consume content these days? Do the Nielsen people just know at all times about everything, even new technology? I guess there is some rippling effects questioning the Nielsen stuff, I guess. That's happening from a higher level than us.
It's about time.
Damn time.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. People are making incredibly impactful business decisions strictly around what this has been happening for a long time. Like, hey, old Nielsen is going to decide who eats and who doesn't, basically. And it's like, all right, well, can we get a little bit of a check maybe on how we can know if that's accurate? I don't know how it works. Somebody's like, well, it's a random scattering of boxes where they tap in around. I'm like, who's though? Who do they pick and choose whose boxes they check? How does that even work? And then there's people that change up their entire channel, their network because of it. And now we're entering a whole new world where apps and streaming and social media is how people basically watch a lot of shit. It's like, who's keeping the score? What's the scoreboard like? And I think there are more people asking that question now, which is good.
Well, they had a good run.
How about Siskel and Ebert? They still thumbs up?
I believe Ebert has passed away.
Yeah,
No!
one of them's very dead.
Yes.
I'll be honest.
No.
I have no clue who these two people are.
Roger Ebert, dude.
Who the
reviewed
fuck is
movies,
Siskel and
dude.
We'll have a
Ebert?
moment of silence.
Okay.
Which one? Siskel?
No, Ebert.
Rest in peace, dude. Or, I don't know, Ebert?
Yeah, Roger Ebert.
Oh, that is man.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Rest in peace, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
No, yeah, I understand.
That was a Sesame Street character.
Jeez.
It's based on
Bert
his
and Ernie.
name. Yeah, exactly.
Bert and Ernie. There's been just a couple great tag teams that have been
It was
out there.
actually Gene Siskel that died.
So I knew I was right. My brain was telling me I didn't even know who it was. Are you putting something up on the screen here? Is this which one?
No, dude.
Bullshit. Bullshit. That's who these two are?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Have a little respect for literally the four most mentioned human beings in rating movies of all time.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, long before there was social media where everybody could just judge movies themselves. And there's a couple movies out right now that have a vastly different critics rating versus audience rating.
Yeah.
Vastly. There's a couple. There's two in particular documentaries that have a vastly different. Before all that, you had to go to the authority. These two knew everything about everything. And in my particular case, if Mr. Siskel or Mr. Ebert said a movie was terrible, I probably knew I was going to enjoy it. That was something that I probably knew was going to happen. They were the standard. You knew you either agreed with them or you didn't agree with them. I did not. So I would like Dumb and Dumber, very low.
Yeah.
I think that was a lot of thumbs
Said
down.
Tommy Boy. It was the only movie they ever walked out on.
Yeah, see.
Tommy Boy?
Exactly.
Are
They
you
are both dead.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say, there's no way Ebert's not dead. I know Ebert's dead.
Come on.
We said we were never going to do this again. We
I
did it
thought
back to back.
Siskel might have been alive, but I knew Ebert was dead.
I thought, honestly, when you pull up that photo, it's like Wozniak Jobs is who
Very
is
similar.
the first thing
That's
that
what it
hits
was
me.
in judging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was the Wozniak. It was the Jordan and Pippen of judging.
Sure.
Yeah.
And rest in peace, dude. To both of them. Hell of a run. Thumbs up and though.
One last thumbs up for them.
So they were just thumbs?
Two thumbs up.
Yep,
Two
sorry.
thumbs up.
They just did thumbs
I
up.
wish I had 2 more hands. That's one of the documentaries, though. The person that created that I was talking about with the critic score and the audience score. Anyways, let's move on. Halloween's awesome. Very excited for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tone, you're having, you always go hard on Halloween. We
Yep.
appreciate it. We're excited about it. The news allegedly today that has to be chatted about before we get to a break and then have Ian Rappaport's going to be joining us in about a minute, so this actually works out exactly how it should.
Nice.
It's not that we did it on purpose, but at about 18 minutes into our conversation about random nonsense, I did think to myself, okay, we can probably stretch another 6 minutes before Ian Rappaport gets on here with some actual information, dialed in, boots on the ground at the owners' meetings, which I believe are in New York. I'm not sure. Where are they?
I don't know.
I assume.
I think it's in New York. Just strictly because the
That would
picture
make
of Mark
sense, yeah.
Davis walking down the street
Yeah.
that looked like I'm not 100% sure, but Mark Davis was asked by the owner of the Raiders was asked by the media outside of wherever they were meeting at if he would give a comment on the Washington football team email investigation, and he said, "I'm going to dinner. I'll be back, guys." Hey, what about your coach that was caught up in the Washington football team email investigation that promptly had to resign, and now you guys got Richie Bisaccio? You have anything on what other emails could be? I'm going to dinner, guys. I'll be back.
That's awesome.
I'm out of here. I'm not answering any questions. They didn't follow him, so I guess they weren't that persistent. But the league meetings, the owners' meetings has a lot of conversation being generated out of it. Joining us now, boots on the ground from in there, an employee of the NFL, NFL.com, and NFL Network, senior NFL insider, and host of the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, Ian Rappaport.
What's up, guys?
Is that Goodell's hotel room you're sitting outside of right there?
No, so here's what's going on. So I'm in a corner here. Next to me is the coat check. You can see the coat check there. And that's kind of the lobby where everyone's hanging out. There's Albert Breer and Judy Batista. That's literally Mark Davis sitting down with reporters right there.
I'll be back, guys. He just said, "I'll be back, guys," yesterday when he was going to get dinner, and now he's sitting down.
And he's back. So while I'm doing this, our reporting team is over there talking to him, which we are getting it on NFL Network, and you will see his comments later. So that'll be fun.
How upset are you right now that you're missing this Mark Davis conversation over there?
I'm not upset because I trust my colleagues that they're going to have great questions and proper interview, and I'm going to get to learn about it later.
Okay, I appreciate you for joining us. Especially in the middle of everything that's going on right now, calling from the league meetings. I got a couple quick questions about how these operate. So there's open sessions, and I read from Peter King that he said that there will be nothing talked about the open session because they believe there's too many leaks. And then there's now a privilege session as well. What is the difference between the two? Is one just the owners and presidents, and what is the other one?
Yeah, so there's basically meetings where like everyone gets to take place. So it's owners and presidents, and there's PR people, like head communications people, and then there's other people who work for the team. But there's like a whole team. And then what happens is you'll see the people, like a lot of those people will kind of be walking around. And you'll be like, okay, this must be the one per club session, which basically means as an organization, as a football team, you only get one person in that room. And always that is the owner. And that's the one where they get to talk about all the real stuff. Like that's the one where presumably, it happened late last night and then early this morning, there was a one per club session where presumably the Washington football team emails were discussed, the John Gruden emails, like all of that, the workplace conduct of the Washington football team, like all of that stuff was discussed in that session. And yes, I mean, there's, owners are unfortunately not great leakers. So a lot of times those conversations do remain confidential.
Who's running the one per club meeting? Is that Goodell running that?
Yeah.
Goodell runs the meeting.
I he is involved as far as running it. This is actually unfortunate and not fair. I've never been invited to one. I know. But I believe it's Goodell running and taking part in it.
Okay, so have you ever seen Goodell flustered like he was, what I think was yesterday or this morning? I've never seen him misstep or miscalculated. He is one of the greatest speakers of all, literally. I saw him come in front of our team before the lockout, and when he was answering questions, and it was incredible. I've never seen somebody take heat and then talk, give an answer, not really though, but appease the person that asked the question and move to the next one. It's political conversations, basically. It's the top level politicians can do this.
Yes.
That's why when like Manfred steps up and calls it a piece of metal and does this stuff, it's like Roger Goodell is incredible at speaking. He is why he's the commissioner. It's why he gets paid so much. He takes all the shrapnel and he can handle it. He seemed a little bit about the emails and everything. Is this much bigger, you think, than they know it's much, this is a big ass deal, you think, or no?
I mean, it's starting to be a bigger deal. I mean, in this lobby where I'm sitting on the floor right now talking to you guys, I don't even have a chair.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Yeah. Anyway, 2 former Washington football team employees showed up to call for transparency. 2 members of Congress yesterday, and again, sort of reiterated their call for transparency to release the emails. The NFL has said they are not going to, have made no moves to do that. And I just don't know what now could compel the NFL to do that. I mean, maybe Congress. As far as it getting bigger, I don't know what sort of the next step would be, because I don't know how much bigger it can get. The NFL has, refused to release all the information, as they did in similar situations in Deflategate, in the Miami Dolphins bullying scandal. There's a couple others that they've released they have not done that and made no sign toward doing that.
Okay, so I know that you probably know just as much as us about the entire situation, but it seems like the new tactic by Roger Goodell is we would like to get all the information. We would like access to all the information. This is whenever Goodell was talking about the commissioner's exemption list for Deshaun Watson. I think also with the Washington football team investigation, how he wanted to garner all the information, all of the details before saying anything. Is this because of previous missteps in his eyes, he thinks, for what has happened? And because there's always a potential new piece of evidence that will be displayed potentially in a very public manner, and then all of a sudden Roger Goodell has to fucking own that he didn't know that existed or whatever. So is that why the new tactic is we're letting and waiting for all of the information, and do they think that'll ever come,
Well, as far as the impetus behind this, there was a high-profile incident with a Giants kicker a couple years back where, remember this, they suspended him a game, and then I believe it was a diary entry. Something came out from his accuser that led to basically him never playing again after the NFL had basically already suspended him. So I don't think they want to get in that situation again where they make a move, do a punishment, and then find out all sorts of other info, and then the punishment, doesn't stand up to the information they have. They do not want to do that. As far as Deshaun Watson, I've heard since training camp that he's not going Meanwhile, Tom Pelissero is now live tweeting from the Mark Davis scrum that's going on there.
Oh, you're getting dunked on, Ian. Oh, no.
Well, no, same team.
Yeah, you're right.
We're collectively dunking.
You passed. You actually passed it.
Yeah. I did the dishing, as they say.
Lonzo.
Ooh.
Yeah, you Lonzo'd that thing.
But yeah, so I have believed that Deshaun Watson was not going on the commissioner's exempt list since they made him eligible to practice in July. And so I've been sort of surprised that people have still been waiting for an answer. To me, we got the answer, and Goodell reiterated that yesterday. Based on the information they have now, he is eligible to play. Could that change when the NFL talks to him, when the investigation's over, when the civil lawsuits are over? Maybe, but if he was traded today, he would be eligible to play for his new team tomorrow.
And this is what Pelissero just said, by the way. Owner Mark Davis voicing his frustration with the way the NFL handled John Gruden's emails. This is after one from each club meetings now. It's a timing issue. Says league may have had for months and would have been may have had for months and would have made it for a lot easier if team had known sooner. Were they treated unfairly? We're Raiders. We're used to this. Okay, so for the one per club meeting, I assume there was some frustrations and grievances aired in there, as is every single. And this is Mark Davis coming out of there. Okay, fascinating. We'll see how that whole thing pans out. I think a lot more of those emails are coming at some point, somehow, some way, and who knows what's going to be in those. I think that is why the eyes are so heavily on them. Let's get back to Deshaun Watson, because you are currently in a standoff, Ian, with John motherfucking McClain.
Oh, shit.
Hey, listen, John.
Am I?
Well, I mean, last week he said that it was an imminent deal was between the Texans and the Dolphins. Then you came on our show here and you said, I don't think anything is imminent or whatever. You thought maybe in the offseason. Now Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald is reporting that the Houston Chronicle is reporting that a deal between the Texans and Dolphins has already been agreed to, including 3 first-rounders in the future, but it would have to be after or the legal off-the-field stuff has already been settled. So now John motherfucking McClain came out and said, I never reported that. I'm just telling you what I heard. What is the situation?
If you're going to do McClain, you got to do the accent and the voice.
No, I don't know. I don't do that.
Never heard him speak.
No, I don't know who John McClain is.
Oh, my God.
You know, what's the accent? Let me hear it.
Oh, I know. I that's not. No. I mean, I have actually a very good McClain, but I'm not going to.
You don't
No,
want any more smoke.
No. I love McClain. So he did come out and deny the report that cited his report about a trade being agreed to. Here's what I know.
All right.
There is, as of right now, no trade. I do not sense anything is, as of this very second, imminent. If the Dolphins and the Texans both decided to do a trade, I do not believe compensation would be an issue. In other words, I don't think there's going to be a big disagreement where the Dolphins are like, we want to give 2 first-rounders, and the Texans are like, we want to get 4. Like, we're way past that. I think if a deal was going to happen, then the compensation would be fairly simple. Like, I don't believe they've agreed because, there's, besides the 3 first-rounders, there's probably some other picks. There's all sorts of, there's some things you could argue, but I do believe that they'd be able to come to it pretty quickly. As of now, there is no deal. I think Miami would like, a little more clarity. I think Goodell coming out and saying yesterday that he is eligible again probably helped. But as far as a deal right now, I do not believe that.
Did Deshaun actually say he'll only go to Miami?
Officially, he has only waived his no trade clause to Miami. So, one thing I reported earlier, and now that you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw this, is that Carolina Panthers, as of now, are out. So maybe in the offseason they might be – there it is. I mean, look at that beautiful tweet.
Yeah, we do see your tweets. Your tweets are pretty good. I mean, we don't know anything about you as a human, but the robot that is NFL information, you're amazing on there.
Yeah, I had actually a spelling mistake right before I sent that. I had to fix it before people saw it. So that was –
Hold on.
People don't always see the behind-the-scenes stuff, but
hold on. Somebody called Troy Vincent Trot Vincent.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The Arrow did.
I think it was the Arrow Pelissero. Pelissero said Trot Vincent says. So that's a big deal. We notice those things. I want to let you know. The world notices, and we appreciate your diligence on spelling. Yeah, here it is. NFL exec Trot Vincent.
Whoa.
Odiero, Tom Pelissero. It's hard whenever you're taking the entire memo, though, and transmitting it right in there. You know, you can see how Vincent and Troy, pretty similar there. A lot of weird letters. Let me put the T on the end there.
Possible the NFL accidentally put Trotnick there. He's just,
Yeah, you're right.
Malfunction.
Yeah, it could have been. It's not Pelissero's. Whoever sent it to Pelissero's Neuralink.
Right.
Boom.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ty.
Rap sheet with Alan Lazard on the COVID list now with Devontae Adams and Joe Barry. I think the Packers activated Malik Taylor, but are they should we anticipate more guys potentially being inactive for tomorrow's game, or how's this going to work?
I think it is possible. It doesn't sound like last year when someone would get COVID and then more people would get COVID. Like it was last year, there were times Ravens, Titans, it felt like a runaway train, right? It felt like every day you were like, oh God, like what COVID news is going to happen? Who's going to be ruled out? Like there was a lot of reasons. Last year was not fun, but dealing with that sort of COVID fear almost was really not fun. This doesn't sound like that. It does not sound like there is an outbreak there. It sounds like a couple of cases. They hope it has not spread, but we'll probably find out today at 4 if there are others. As far as we know, there are only 2 confirmed cases. It's Devontae and Joe Barry. Alan Lazard, who's not vaccinated, is a high-risk close contact. So those are the 3 as of now.
No. So close contact is still knocking out players. That is still a protocol thing.
Only if you're not vaccinated, and that's why, there were some people who sort of why do I have to mention that he's not vaccinated? The reason is because if he was vaccinated, being a high risk close contact does not exist. He would be eligible to play.
Can he get the shot today?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
why not?
Oh, because it takes 9 days or something like
but
that.
He would still be out.
How many days was it, Foxy? How many days was it?
I thought it was 2 weeks for
13
us.
days or something like that. We were still treated as. I think everybody was trying to treat it like.
And that was from the second shot.
Yeah, that was.
Come on.
Yeah, it was way back.
You get the single dose.
It's horseshit.
We got it right here. Who knows if it's still working or not?
One time.
I mean, I got
Get the booster.
Well, I did get the booster. I got COVID. You know, so I got
The natural way.
Yeah, I got the boot. I earned it too. I mean, we got high heat. We were throwing high heat inside me there too. So I think I hopefully should be good forever. Who knows? Go ahead, Connor. Hey, we appreciate you here, Ian. Last question for you, pal. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, rap sheet. Will the owners talk about the possibility of bringing in a Jeff Bezos or someone who wants to own an NFL team at these meetings?
Great question.
Jeff Bezos is a fascinating figure because I know there are a lot of high-ranking people in the NFL who want him involved. I have not heard that he actually wants to be an owner right now. And then, look, there's no team for sale right now, so this is all kind of whatever.
Broncos.
If next year the Broncos are for sale, unless I am missing something, I do not hear that he wants to be that right now. I think he's happy being a private citizen or whatever he is now that he's stepped down as CEO.
Fucking spaceman.
So, an astronaut.
Yeah, a space right, basically an astronaut. He is going to be involved in the NFL because Amazon has Thursday nights, and we'll see if there are other ways that he will be involved. But I have not heard that he's going to end up being an owner, which actually kind of surprised me a little bit.
What is that room behind you?
Looks like some sort of closed-door conference room going on.
Ooh. Open it.
Oh, you're Ian fucking Rappaport, dude. You deserve to be in there, don't you?
Look, I deserve to be in every room. Again, me not being invited to the one per club, I'm not going to say that I'm insulted because that I wouldn't say that, but I'm not going to be the one to say that.
Yeah, they dunked on you. You've been around a long time. They hate you in there. They don't want any leaks. They said there's too many leaks anyways. The one per club meeting, too, what Connor was asking there, I thought the Broncos were for sale, and you have to get okayed. Is it a unanimous decision by all the other owners? Is it a majority decision? Do they have to vote you in? How does it work?
I think it's either, that's annoying. I should know this. I think it's either 3/4 or 2/3. I think it's 3/4. The Broncos are not for sale. There is a possibility after the season that they could be, but they're going to go through the steps. There's a right of first refusal situation going on. Does the family get the right of first refusal? They have to sort of figure out, is the family going to keep it? And I think after the season, there will be a decision on the future of the Broncos. Are they going to be sold or do they keep it in the family?
Who's going to buy a team? Why don't you buy a team? Is Gary Vee going to buy a team? Is Gary Vee going to be who? Like buying a team seems like the ultimate dream billionaire move, right? Instead of going to space. And is the NFL want that to become like the new billionaire goal is to buy an NFL team? And how often?
That's already the billionaire goal.
Yeah, right? but the turnover never happens. If it sounds like maybe the Chargers, who knows what's going on with the Chargers? Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe the Broncos,
Seattle at some point, maybe, but like. From what I hear, Paul Allen's sister really likes it, so I don't know that she's dying to get out of it either. Like that's the problem. Is like, there are reasons that teams sell. Jerry Richardson provided one a couple years back, but they rarely come open. I would say this: like, I should be an owner of a team.
It's all right. All right, this is it. Hey, good luck. Yeah. Good luck in there. We appreciate you calling. I hope you don't miss any more conferences. We appreciate your time, Ian.
All right, I'm going to go listen to the Mark Davis interview that my colleagues expertly got. So, bye, guys.
Hey, way to catch up, ladies and gentlemen. Ian Rappaport. Had to whisper from that lobby.
Yeah.
He knew he was potentially going to get booted.
Echo chamber.
Excuse me. Is all marble here? Let's use our inside voices, okay? What if Ian started talking like Alec? I don't think the owners did, and it just echoes through Mark Davis's press conference.
I was almost waiting for Goodell to walk up and be like, what the hell are you doing?
Hey, who is this? Give me the phone. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Hey, Roger Goodell, you don't normally hear the top. Roger Goodell is one of the best speakers going. And I am somebody that I don't care what somebody's speaking about. I would like to see how they tell their story, how they speak, how fluid the words are coming out of their mouth, how their brain operates. Is it obvious that they're thinking one sentence ahead? Are they going word by word? Are they fighting these things that are coming out of their mouth, or are they doing? Roger Goodell is just he's Bob Ross up there whenever he has to talk, and it's about very important, very serious, billions of dollars, serious allegations. He's always been rather good. He's had some hiccups, obviously, in the way he's handled punishments and things like that, but normally when he gets on a microphone, it is pretty much all handled. Like, this is what Roger Goodell said, so he didn't really give us an answer, but he did paint the picture a little bit brighter for us on why this happened. This Washington football team investigation that the NFL is doing that has 650,000 emails?
Yeah, over 650,000.
And then who leaked the information is what a lot of people within the NFL are thinking. So then also, obviously, the victims of the Washington football team and the ones who are accusing the incredibly terrible workspace that is being investigated, they're there. Congress is there.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if Roger Goodell is a little bit on this one, like, because he probably has had them report to him what's in the emails. And if it was to get out or is to get out, he's probably a little bit worried. I mean, it's a wild scene over there in New York right now. It is a wild scene over there right now.
Well, and he probably thought that this was just going to go away, right? It's like, oh, okay, we fired Gruden and that'll be done. That'll be the end of the Washington football team situation. But obviously with the victims being there and like
Congress
combating everything that he said in his statement, like this isn't going to go away. I have a feeling it's going to just get louder.
I will make this very clear that I don't think Congress is very well liked either. I'm not 100% sure if Congress is the baby face in this situation, if they come in and say, hey, but if you're the NFL, you have to know that if the government is snooping around, then there's also the actual plaintiffs of the horrible accusations there. There's media there, all there. This is only going to continue to grow. It's not like how it once was, maybe, where we'll just move on. Sacrificial lamb, John Gruden, he said terrible things. We all agree. Yep, we made the right decision. He's gone. And then also the NFL's head lawyer, we'll give a couple of here you go. Yeah. Huh? It's like, we're all good here. We're all good here. And everybody's like, no. And Mark Davis, it sounds like, I don't necessarily love what's going on either. So now amongst the ranks in the one per club meeting, not only in the lobby, not only in Congress, but in the one per club meeting also, there's people like, what the fuck's going on? Is that why Roger Goodell isn't the perfect speaker that we normally see? I'm fascinated to see how this all plays out.
The Mark Davis stuff to me is super interesting too, because it kind of tells you what they think of him. If
Okay, Dove Kleiman is reporting. He just tweeted a quote tweet of Albert Breer's tweet that says Raiders owner Mark Davis asked if the league should release a written report on the Washington football investigation. Probably, yeah. I think so, says Mark Davis. And then in response to that, Dove Kleiman reports that Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says he's very satisfied with how the league handled it. Said he's speaking for all owners. Apparently not all of the owners.
Does he include Mark as an owner?
Yeah, because Mark is the only non-billionaire in there, right?
Well, and he's the only one that's really been affected by this in his team.
Yeah.
I speak for all the owners that did not have to lose their head coach because of how terrible he spoke in emails to somebody that we knew information about. I speak for everybody. We fucking did it right. Get out of our fucking lobby.
Yeah.
That is hilarious to think about there. And there's mixed signals are going to continue to come out, and conversations going to be leaked. Probably not from the one per club meeting. That seems like that's probably pretty tight.
Yes.
But if they have an entire team that goes and represents every single team, I mean, there's going to be so much information out of this as the days unfold. We will cover it as it happens. We have to get to a break. We'll be back on the other side with some phone calls, wrap up hour 1 and hour 2. We'll get a chance to chat with AJ Hawk, jet passing, and more football, and hopefully some of your phone calls at 1-833-4-McAfee on the 5-hour energy phone line. Can't wait to chat with you. 4 minutes, we'll be back.
This is part of the fun. The fun is obviously, I got my best friend in the league back to go to work with every day. I got the funniest dude in the world to drive down to practice with every day in David Bakhtiari. I got a great coaching staff that I love. I'm still in Green Bay and having the time of my life. And I get fun moments like this every single week. So life is about perspective. And I'm just daily counting the blessings that I have in life and just have so much gratitude for these moments. And for the fact that I'm 37, I'm still playing and still playing at a high level and still getting to have fun moments each week, including on this show. So thank you guys for that.
No, listen, obviously, thank you. Listen, I understand that you probably, I assume that it is genuine and you do thank us, but if you were to zoom out of Green Bay, and we are the fucking lucky ones, pal. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. All right, 0-0. Make it 2-0. Make it. Nice. 1-0. Oh, 2-1. Oh, here we go. This. 4-1. Oh! Wow! That's good ball. That's good you ball. Let's go. All right, one top 10. That's it. Top 10. Top 4-2. Woo! Oh no! Let's go! Let's go, dude! Whoa! What the hell? No mind. Hey, let's play a quick game. You guys got it. Gotta play speed round, dude. Okay. Oh! Oh no! They quit the ball gap, give me a chance. Oh, geez. Oh! What the? Hey, it's hard to make a shot. It's hard. Alright. Again, boys. Again. First time in history. That's the first time. We still tired. Oh! Oh, we got team. Oh, it's 12? Yeah. Oh! Yeah, boy. So the Young Bucks said, hey, can we speed the game up a little bit when we yell out the score? I mean, that thing ended before it even started. We didn't even get through a full inning. No.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Whether you've been in a relationship for years or just getting started or are excited to get back out there and meet new people, when the moment comes, you want to be ready. Roman ready.
Hell yeah.
With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for your erectile dysfunction problem, all from the comfort and privacy of your own home. Roman ready equals confidence. The confidence that you know you can rise to the occasion in the moment. Yes. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. Ooh. The whole process is straightforward, convenient, and discreet. Go to GetRoman.com/McAfee today, and if you're prescribed, you'll get 50% off your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this summer. Roman ready. If you have erectile dysfunction problems, you're not alone. They had a stat for us in one of the previous things. It's like 30-some% of men over the age of like 30 or something like that.
Yep.
So you're not alone, 40-some% maybe. And nobody knows. They just ship it to you discreet. You're in your own room. And you actually have a medical professional because it's probably a sign of something else going on in your body.
That's right.
So you're actually getting help in that whole thing too. So go get Roman ready and take care of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get Roman for the hair, maybe for Boston Connor at some point as well. They have a lot of shit that can make you the best you possible. Let's go to the 5-hour energy phone line. Kyle in Illinois. What's going on, pal?
Oh, not too much, Pat. I actually had a question for AJ. I realize he's not on the show yet, so I guess I'll ask you.
All right. Let's go to Nick in Arizona. Nick, what's going on?
Hey, Pat. How you doing?
Keep it moving.
So since the Niners are dead and we're pretty much looking down the road at next year when we won't have Jimmy Garoppolo, don't you think they should just start Trey Lance and get this thing moving already?
That's a fascinating question because it's come out now, allegedly. Thank you for your question, Nick. It has come out now, allegedly, that the Patriots, in the Wickersham book, the Patriots offered a second-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo day of draft. So this is via Matt Miller at NFL Draft Scout. He says, in Seth Wickersham's book, he reports that the Patriots called the 49ers asking about Jimmy Garoppolo trade value on day one of the draft. New England reportedly offered a second. San Francisco wanted a first. Okay, so they literally on draft day, whenever they moved up to 3, caused quite a ripple. Then on draft day, we potentially got a little inside information. It was not going to be Mac Jones. We were not told who it was going to be, but we were told it wasn't going to be Mac Jones. The odds changed drastically. And all of a sudden, when push came to shove, Bill Belichick wanted to find out if they were being truthful or not when they said, we have a plan for Jimmy Garoppolo who's going to cost us $20-some million, even though we just leveraged the future of this franchise to get this quarterback at number 3. Bill Belichick said, I'm offering you a second-round draft pick, and I'll take that $20-some million off your salary cap. San Francisco said, no, we got a plan for Jimmy. We want a first. Bill said, you need a second. That's it. Well, fuck off then, Bill. They said no, they kept Jimmy G. I wonder if at this moment right now, how they would feel about it. I don't know how New England fans would feel about it. They love Mac Jones.
Yeah.
And who knows if any of this is real or not.
Yeah, exactly. After the Belichick-Brady thing, I think Wickersham is a fraud, so I don't truly believe that they never wanted Jimmy G back either.
All right.
Wants to pay that much money?
I mean, that is fair to say that because there was a lot of stories that came from this book. Better
to be feared.
Better to be feared. There it is. Allegedly, some stories came out about Tom and about Bill, and then Tom and Bill addressed it and said, nah, that ain't real. So now is the whole story fake? Fugazi maybe. Hour 2 is in 6 minutes with AJ Hawk. Able to continue to win with no indoor practices. I am going to keep hammering that drum, and not because it's a bash or a knock on the fans or the players or it's a knock on the fucking ownership. You got a great team. Invest in the team. You know how you'll make more money, Brown family? If your team keeps fucking winning. Do everything you can to get that team to win. Because once that happens, you'll be raking in the cash because jerseys will sell, primetime games will happen, tickets will be sold. You can even raise ticket prices. Think about that. Oh my God, that beer that you're already charging $5 if the team's winning and not stopping winning. Guess what? $8.50.
Yeah.
That's $3.50 per Cincinnati, and that's house and beers. That's a lot of fucking beers. That's a lot of $3.50s extra that you could potentially get if you invest in the team. That would be great. Don't fuck up Joey Burrow's career and Jamar Chase and Trey Hendrickson. They have a chance, AJ. You actually had a chance to coach one of the smartest humans to ever play in the NFL, and Andrew Luck. And I've told this story before where he made a check in the OTAs and the walkthrough, like the first one he was at, that the rest of the team didn't even know what it was. It was his first day on the practice field, his first day of practice, and he like checked out of a blitz. Was that true? And was it at that moment you're like, oh, okay, we got the guy? Like, is that immediately how that thing happened? And did that thing actually happen with Andrew Luck?
Yeah, so he finally shows up, and he's missed the lion's share of the whole offseason. No offseason program, no OT. He's made one rookie mini camp, and then he's gone. And he finally shows up. We get out to practice, and we're, like you said, we're in a walkthrough, and BA calls a play, and he goes to the line of scrimmage. He's getting everything set up, and all of a sudden it was alert, opposite, makes his check, and T.Y., Reggie, Dwayne Allen, everybody in the back. You know, we had the whole offense over here, the whole defense over here, 3 lines and chains. I spent the whole day, get the F back. I was the get back coach. And all of a sudden he rips out this check, alert, you know, and changes the whole play, changes the protection. You know, we go from a run to pass to run, and everybody's like, what the fuck did he just say? And what is that? We had to blow the whistle, get him back in the huddle, because nobody knew what he was checking to. And we're figuring, okay, this guy is a genius. He is a brainiac.
Whenever you're working on golf, do you still have the same routine that you had whenever you were younger now, or is it much different? And how often do you just go down there and just hit Phil Mickelson flop shots all day? But anytime you turn one sideways and you flatten it, you're like, oh, watch this. I'm going to do like Phil Mickelson does. And then you just go out there. Normally you either blade it, hit it straight up in the air to the right, or you somehow get lucky and it goes and everybody's like, oh my God.
Incredible shot.
Phil Mickelson. That's what that is kind of become, and I remember you hit the one over your head that one time. That was a mind blower from me. Is the short game something you've always just been good at, or are you good at it because that's all you work like so much on it at all times?
When I was a kid, my dad had a little chipping area in our backyard and putting green, and so I would just go out there and hit balls because I couldn't really go to the golf course. And all I did was, you kind of learn a couple of things. But what I would say, Pat, is that there's really only one way to chip effectively, because you're coming in with no coverage on the ball. You're coming in with so much loft that the leading edge is coming in first. So you have to have your weight forward. That's it. You have to have your weight forward and drive the club down into the ground. And most people, when they do that, their hands either come back or their weight comes back and the leading edge comes up and blades it. Now, you can kind of flip your hands a little bit if you have a good lie. Like if the ball's sitting in the first cut or it's sitting up, but that technique will not work all the time. And so that's why I prefer and believe that the technique where you have your weight forward, your hands forward, and you drive the club down to the ground will be consistent every time. So lay that club flat, move that ball off your left toe, get that ball off your front left, there you go, and open that face flat and just drive the club down into the ground. The ball will pop up like a gem.
I think I'm a scratch golfer. Let's go! I think it makes sense, by the way, that your childhood was spent within 30 yards of a green. My childhood was spent kicking a soccer ball off the side of a house. Worked out for me. It's worked out for you much better. Let's get a little lightning in the stick there. Baseball's happening.
EP did not tell you to go, Tony. You do not go until the EP Mitt says so.
He said
you know that.
He said that's fucking Will Ferrell and Blaze of Glory.
Yeah.
I've never seen
Chaz Michael Michaels.
Michael Michaels, thank you.
Either that or you hit like a tree branch.
You know what? Gumps, it was funny because that was the same time. So we're not going with Gumps.
No, I love it. It's like, hey, look, this is how I know you're the ultimate hockey guy.
That's good.
The guy's already got a nickname.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I don't know. Drop it and change it.
It's always at an ER, and I thought Gumper sounded pretty lame, so I went with Gumps.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Coach Us Up Chuck, Wednesday, October 27th, 2021 years after the year zero. We'll begin. Is there?
You did it again.
I don't want to do this again, but I was told that there was no year zero by somebody in a tweet, and it was an article that looked like it had a lot of details in it. Looked like it had been well-versed, well-studied. I don't know what that means in time existence, okay? I don't know if the year zero happened. It had to have to get to 2021, but I'm being told that that didn't happen.
No way. Time was invented by human minds, so we know that there wasn't a year zero.
Yeah, see, we don't have time.
Well,
do we?
Yeah.
Do we?
Is there time?
Do we have time to even talk about time, even if time is relative and passing quickly right in front of our face? But the power is now.
That's right.
Boom.
Power is now.
And joining us to be here right now, a man who is his own universe of destruction whenever he was on the football field.
Hell yeah.
A man who is an alchemist of pain whenever he would dive at other people's heads with his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to work Pat Tillman's story into this.
He won glory many
He did
times
win glory, but yeah.
Stolen valor.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Hey,
and the Chuck Berry, of course.
Yeah.
I was going to get I thought I was going to get the entire book club potentially in there, and I couldn't wait to get to the Sun Tzu Art of War reference I was going to make about you. But AJ, thank you for joining us. A guy called to ask a question to you like 4 minutes ago, 6 minutes. I guess it had to be more than about 10 minutes ago. It made the show worse, so I had to hang up on him. Hopefully he'll call back. I think it was something about your chin is what Mitt told me. So people are speculating about your chin, which is also fantastic. Speaking of chin, the NFL is taking it right on the chin right now. Okay, the NFL is getting beat down over how they've handled this Washington football team Bruce Allen investigation. This is currently all taking place at the owner and league meetings, and there has been 2 one per club meetings. Our sources have told us, Ian Rappaport, last night and this morning, where Mark Davis is apparently on a much different page than Jerry Jones, who's speaking for the entire NFL. Whenever Jerry Jones says that he thinks the NFL handled this right and there doesn't need to be more emails released or anything like that. Mark Davis, AJ, I cannot wait for this to be your first reaction on this beautiful Coach Us Up Chuck. Mark Davis looked like this and said this when he was asked how the NFL handled it and if they should release all of the 650,000 plus emails.
Do you want to see it?
Probably, yeah. I think that there should be. Yeah. Especially with some of the things that were, charged. Yeah, I believe so. I think people believe that deserve it, especially the people that were, quote, victims.
Okay, so Mark Davis obviously looks absurd. Okay, He has the freshest haircut in New York. His mustache also fantastic. Has a backpack over a starter bomber jacket. Backpack on while sitting on chair with back awkwardly. He is obviously a hysterical man, but he wants the emails released, and I think it's because his team was obviously greatly affected by this whenever it was learned of how the head coach would. Your thoughts on just the entire turmoil and Mark Davis as a human, AJ Hawk?
Well, first off, I love Mark Davis as a human. Just everything about it. The backpack, while you're sitting down in this high back chair, like, couldn't get more uncomfortable. Everybody's above you asking questions. Like,
looking down?
That picture, like, doesn't that give you a little anxiety thinking if you had to be that person with everyone looking down on you, just asking you all these questions?
That haircut gives me anxiety, AJ.
Unreal. I love that. Yeah. The hair looks good, man.
Yeah, Mark Davis is obviously a classic character, and John Gruden resigned because of the emails that were made public that showed him saying very, very terrible things that the NFL does not want to have being represented by a leader in the NFL and John Gruden. And there's also more from Mark Davis talking about how the NFL knew this for months, this information, before the leak happened, and he wished he would have been given a little bit of a heads up as
July they concluded their investigation, right? So they could have told them before the season.
So Mark Davis not happy about that. I assume it got a bit contentious, but these owners' meetings, it's crazy right now over there. And I don't know if the owners expected this to be like this or not. Congress is there. There's protests from victims of the workplace environment that the Washington football team had for decades. There's every meet. I mean, it is. I don't want to talk about this shit because it's like, you kind
of have to, though. Are other people? Is this something that's being reported on by, is ESPN talking a lot about it? Is NFL Network? What are they doing with it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. NFL Network this morning had
what player coach would you want to see in blank costume?
Yeah,
it's a good question. It's very relevant.
Tom Brady and Jordan debate this morning.
That's right.
No, yeah.
They did a lot of Lakers.
Tom Brady, LeBron, sorry.
Yeah, which is a good conversation. I mean, I feel like
my bad.
You would have to do.
I mean, the NFL Network does have their reporters there, so technically,
and
I
Judy
assume they'll
Batista,
be covering it.
Pelissero,
but the owners, though, don't you feel like maybe the owners feel different? They feel like there's all this heat surrounding them, and like, how are we going to handle this? What are we going to do? From how I view this, I feel like the owners know, like, hey, we can do whatever we want. Like, we can't be forced to do anything. We're going to do whatever we want. This cycle is going to turn over. They're going to stop talking about all of this here in 3, 4, 5 days, and then it's going to be forgotten about. That's what I feel like the owners are doing.
The owners have always, I think, not just the owners in the NFL, but a lot of people in high-ranking positions have always kind of like, the next wave will come. When the next wave comes, then ours will, just like a wave in the ocean, will just kind of dissipate into the sand. People will remember, the seashells that are left there behind from it, but it won't be something that'll be the prevalent conversation. But this one feels like it's going to only continue to go. Remember, and this is something that is very different, and there's probably been other examples that might be better, but you remember like the Barry Bonds stuff and the A-Rod stuff and the Clemens stuff and the baseball stuff? That just started as something that was just kind of like, this is happening within our thing, and then it kind of, got washed over, but then it came back, and it ended up with them sitting down in front of Congress, right?
Yeah.
Was it Congress? Or I don't know.
It was Congress, yeah.
They're sitting down in front
Henry Waxman.
Boom. I don't know who that is, but yeah, they're sitting there, and they're talking. Is Henry Waxman a part of Congress?
Yeah, he was the one. He was like leading the charge.
He was the one who knew baseball.
Yeah.
Knew what was going on and wasn't happy about it.
Right.
Okay, so that could potentially happen whenever you're talking about a 650,000 email investigation by the NFL, where the NFL knows where there's very real consequences potentially on the other side of it. Like the chief marketing officer for the Washington football team for a long time came out and said that if those emails were released, what she thinks would be seen as serial sexual assault and serial sexual abuse allegations or something like that. And it's like, okay, that's why the government would potentially, because not only is it an investigation, so the government's probably pretty interested in investigations, right? That's what the fucking government does, is investigations. They're pretty pumped about that. But also there's very real potential outcomes in the real world that they potentially want to look like, hey, we are standing up for this, right? Which we know politics, that is something that happens. So this could become something that is very huge, especially with the protesting. And there's one.
That's what's going to do it. And I know isn't there a lawyer there that's representing like 40 people that are victims from all of this, and I don't know what all the victims are of, but isn't a lot of it like sexual assault, sexual abuse type harassment for victims?
Yeah, yeah.
So those people, and rightfully so, they want everything out. They're going to make the most noise and get to drive enough traffic to where people, I think, just can't ignore it anymore, and they can't move on if they are going to force these things out.
It's incredibly loud right now. It's the only conversation other than the COVID and Deshaun Watson, which is another entire conversation. Allegedly, he's getting traded only to Miami. Carolina Panthers no longer interested. The Dolphins, Miami Herald reporter named
Barry Jackson.
Jackson, yeah. Nowhere near.
J with a B though, Barry Jackson.
Yeah,
Jacob.
bad brain though. This was a Trot Vincent type situation.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Barry Jackson, anyway, he of the Miami Herald is reporting that the Houston Chronicle reported that the Dolphins and Texans have agreed on a trade, and basically it came out that it was 3 first-rounders that have been agreed on via the Houston Chronicle are being traded, and the Stephen Ross only okay with this if he had clarity on the legal situation, but that isn't going to be settled by November 2nd. So what is Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald reporting? Well, he's reporting that the Houston Chronicle is reporting something. And then John fucking McClain of the Houston Chronicle said, I never reported that. So who's cooking up bullshit here? It seems like everybody at this point.
Everyone involved has, there's just so much out there. I don't know what to believe. I have no idea. And could Miami go to Raj and be like, hey, I understand we haven't done yet, your investigation hasn't happened, but could you give us some kind of range on how long Deshaun could possibly be out? Would they do that?
Okay, so we were talking about this before the show out there. What if Miami said, and I don't think this has happened before, so the NFL would have to make an exemption for this because this is 22 very serious allegations off the field. Like, this is not... that's a lot. And obviously, without the commissioner's exemption list in play, which Roger Goodell said he is not privy to all the information to make a decision to put Deshaun on the commissioner's exemption list. He said he's not ready for it. They don't have the information. They're going to wait for other people's investigation and doesn't want to interfere or anything like that. It's an interesting way because if he makes a ruling and then something comes out afterwards, Roger Goodell's in a pretty bad spot. The NFL's in a pretty bad spot. Which I thought is what the exemption list was for, though. Like, I thought it was like, hey, we don't know what's going to happen. You're kind of in limbo here, so we're going to put you on the list. He said there's not enough information to put him on the list. But with 22 allegations and Stephen Ross saying he would like to get a little clarity on the legal situation and the NFL situation, is there a way that he potentially would like to, hey, let's agree to the trade before November 2nd, but it is voided, like he won't join the team. We won't have him join our team until everything gets kind of clarified off the field. And if it ends up he can't play, it is voided. And that means it would have to have an expiration date before the next draft, I guess, because that's when the trade would be. Is that what he's potentially looking for? If any part of this is real from Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald, if that is what Stephen Ross is looking for, that shit ain't going to get figured out in 5-6 days. There's no way that gets figured out in 6 days.
There's a lot going into that. I don't know how they'd work that out legally. If they want to, they could figure anything out, really. It's like if someone is being traded but it's contingent on them passing their physical. It could be something like that. But this could be what, 6-8 months from now? We have no idea.
What's the rush for the Dolphins here? It's not like they get Deshaun Watson, he plays, and they make the playoffs. Like, why don't they
think that?
Wait? They're 1-5,
they do not
1-6.
think that. There's no way. You think that?
Do you think they think there's any chance he plays this year?
Well, he could.
Even further, what's the rush?
Gumpy, can you come in here, please, Gumpy? It's hard to see Gumpy back in the back there. And we might as well get Gumpy out here anyways because Jet Passon's coming.
Showdown.
You know what I mean? Jet Passon's coming back on the show.
What happened?
Last time Gumpy and Jet talked to each other on recorded, on camera. Jet dunked on Gumpy.
Oh, you're right. Yep, got it.
He called him Grandpa or whatever.
Grandpa.
Because he asked a boring old rule or something about an old rule. And Jet was like, Jesus, this guy, what are you, 90 years old? He got dunked on. We'll get to that whenever Jet joins us here in about 10, 15 minutes or whatever. Gumpy, real quick, Dolphins. What is the purpose of getting Deshaun in there in the next 6 days, contingent upon everything being kind of handled and justice found off the field with everything he's got going on there, other than just to potentially continue to piss off Tua and maybe make the team continue to be kind of driven apart? What's going on down there in the Dolph fam, the Fins Up community, Gump?
My only thought that makes sense is Chris Greer is trying to save his job. This is his last-ditch effort because he screwed up every fucking draft pick he's had to try and trade every draft pick we have left to get Deshaun Watson.
Chris Greer is the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. And now, he is also the one that drafted Tua, right?
Yeah.
And Tua, if you look at the Pro Football Focus grades and rankings, he's top 5 in a few different stats. I don't know if it's wins. It isn't, but it is some other stats that prove that he can be maybe a good football player. Yeah. Maybe Tua becomes a great football player. We know nothing about him at this point, but why would Chris Greer, who's the general manager who drafted Tua, want to move on from Tua just less than 2 years after drafting Tua?
It makes no sense. And Stephen Ross is an asshole.
Okay.
He is. I mean, he was asked a question yesterday. He could have just answered it like a normal human being. He said, "I know what you're going to ask. See you later," and just walked.
No, but I don't think he knew what the person was going to ask, right? Because it could have been Deshaun Tua, but also he's an owner. I mean, there's an email. I know what you're going to ask. Well, I got a lot of questions. You want A, B, or C? I mean, this could be a whole thing. But I don't fully comprehend why you would want to do this. And if they traded him, if Deshaun was traded to Miami for 3 first-rounders and it was contingent upon whatever happens off the field, so it's like kind of in limbo, purgatory looming. If everything gets handled, he'll be in Miami. What does that do for Tua while he's just sitting there? There's like no good outcome, I don't think. And maybe this is just all bullshit because we're 6 days away or 5 days away from the trade deadline. But now it's coming from Miami and from Houston. What do they know that Ian doesn't know, or Ian's like, I don't think this is imminent or whatever.
And Tua has legitimately played 8 games. So what in those 8 games has told you anything different from the tape that you've watched on why you drafted him?
So you're furious about this even being in a conversation still?
I mean, I'm loyal as a dog. I'm stuck with this fucking team forever. That's who a lot of people.
I don't think you have to be.
Yeah,
what about Tua?
That's who I am.
Stuck with Tua?
I mean, that's who I am.
Yeah, what if Tua leaves? Will you go follow Tua? No.
No.
You're stuck with the team.
Yeah, that's why I'm so pissed off.
The team could become the next Tampa, right? I mean, that potentially, AJ, I don't know if he has any ear things in, so I apologize. I'll relay your question because he did ask about Tua. He was the one that asked about Tua. But why do you feel this such a strong allegiance to this team that seems to be just dancing on your grundle every chance they get in your happiness?
Born and raised. That's all I know. Dolphins football, as bad as it is. Here we are.
All right.
Who's that come from? He doesn't have headphones on. Is that from his dad or family?
Who's that come from, AJ said?
My dad, my old man, Larry Zonka. Then I was Marino growing up, so we had some good times.
I don't think his dad is Larry Zonka. Thank you, Gumpy, though. We appreciate it. Attaboy, Gump.
Larry Zonka, co-host of American Gladiators back in the day.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a weapon.
American Gladiators allegedly making a return. There's not a lot of like network stuff I would like to be a part of. I would like to host that show. I feel like that is a show that I should potentially
I'd like to shoot the tennis ball gun at the contestant.
You should definitely be Malibu or something up there. Yeah. 230 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. Yeah. Say hello to the infinite chin, AJ Hawk. That'd be awesome.
Nah, I mean, I need a spray tan and about 40 pounds of muscle from some juice.
Yeah, but there is... Okay, you can do whatever you want for our show.
Juice.
If I'm running American Gladiators.
To beat American Gladiator, I would imagine, especially at the advanced age that I am. Those guys are young.
Well, we don't know what they could be. They could be anything, by the way. It could be you. You could be the American Gladiator. We could shape a game around your strengths, by the way. Maybe it's just, hey, you have to run your head into an American Gladiator with a helmet on 10 times. And if you can walk out of the arena, the park, you get a point. Way to go. That'll be the infinite chin.
1 point.
That'll be 1 point.
There we go.
1 point. And you would have to do that against, I guess.
I mean, they had
two. You would have
Turbo Ball was fucking AJ Hawk's game. Where they had the little, baskets moving around. It's just 1-on-1. He'd just be fucking chewing guys up and spitting them out.
American Gladiators is such a good fucking show. I don't know how it's taken this long to come back, but if it does happen, I would like at least a shot to potentially host that thing. I feel like, AJ, I think you should definitely be a fucking gladiator, too. I mean, what is it going to be? It's going to be you, The Rock, that guy.
Bobby Carpenter.
General Bob.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Jay Glazer.
Hey, happy birthday, Brady Quinn. Maybe Brady Quinn.
Oh, Brady.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Brady'd be good.
Darius Butler is probably going to be in the ball game, if I had to guess. That the ball.
Turbo Ball?
Yeah, the Turbo Ball game.
Guy Fieri.
Yes.
I don't know if Gladiator guys.
I don't know. Fieri on the joust.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be...
Against Mario Batali. That'd be a good one.
All right.
Easy.
Why are you guys trying to ruin the game?
What are you talking about? Chef versus chef? That's not allowed to happen?
Chef versus chef can happen, all right? I'm just talking about American Gladiators, where one person is trying to beat these Goliaths, these superheroes, these superhumans, and become champions so they can bring not only cash back to the house, but a lot of legacy and folklore stories.
Hell yeah.
Malibu is by far the OG of that whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you, there was one time where I wanted to set up the tennis ball Gatling gun up here in the office and set up an entire thing because we kind of have it built. We kind of have that thing ready. And Turns out it's harder to get that tennis ball Gatling gun than you could imagine. It's not that bullshit. It's not that easy just to get that thing to show up next day whenever you need it, which is kind of bullshit, actually.
That's the only one I've ever seen. Have you ever seen anyone else shoot something like that? I mean, that's like air load. You got what, compressed air shooting it? Like it's pretty amazing.
Remember, it was bolt action too. I think, right? Poof, poof, they had to load that.
Sometimes
thing.
It would get jammed. You know, the good guys didn't jam it.
I think it was a modified potato gun.
Probably.
Have you seen some of those pumpkin guns?
Oh yeah,
they shoot pumpkins or cannons. I guess or cannons. I guess. What? People are launching cannons.
Holy shit!
Especially in this Halloween season. Yeah, I haven't seen as many pumpkins getting cannoned as of late.
There's a shortage.
There's a shortage on what? Cannons or pumpkins?
Probably both.
Probably both.
No.
It's because all those robot dogs are taking all the fucking cannons.
That's right.
Sick of
them
it,
on
can't
their
have
back.
it. Let's bounce around the NFL a little bit. Alan Lazard, he is out for tomorrow night's matchup against the Cardinals. A.J. Hawk. He is the third member of the Green Bay Packers organization to end up on Uncle COVID's naughty list. He's a close contact to Devontae. He is not vaccinated. This is news coming from Ian Rappaport. So he's out. So not only is Uncle COVID still happening, close contacts to Uncle COVID is still happening. Haven't heard this in some time. This might only continue to grow as the season goes. Looks like the Green Bay Packers are the first victim of this thing.
And I assume the Packers are getting tested today and tomorrow because they are in the elevated protocol. So unfortunately, this might not be the last person that gets put on the list. But at least when it comes to close contacts, to be sat down for close contacts, it has to be that you're unvaccinated. So we know more players are vaccinated than unvaccinated. So there's probably no more close contacts coming out, I'm guessing.
Well, that was the big question that I had because we never hear the updated numbers. Remember going into the season, it was like, this team's at 89%.
Oh.
This team's at 96%. Whoa, ding, ding, ding. This team is at 100% vaccination. Yeah. It's like, all right, well, is everybody they're going to bring in then obviously going to be there as well? Have we gotten an updated stat on vaccination rates?
Yes.
We do, says Tony.
Yesterday, Dr. Alan Sills was speaking, I believe, at the owners'
Hey,
meeting.
by the way, Alan Sills, Dr. Alan Sills, the NFL's doctor, he and Fauci have been American gladiators jousting for some time.
Oh, yeah.
For some time. Dr. Alan Sills has been the authority on the medical conversation for the NFL for some time. Lied about it, too. Like, we've actually done our own research, Fauci. Thanks. We are going to have our fucking games.
Sorry.
Fascinating situation. Now he's coming out with the vaccination numbers.
He said 94.1% of NFL players are vaccinated. He said that yesterday.
What is it, 1,200? There's like 1,400 people in the NFL. I forget if you do the math. And I remember that number being presented to me the first time I made a team. Like, congratulations. This is how many people are in the NFL. This is how many people tried to be in the NFL. This is how many people started when you started. It was like one of those graphs or whatever that was very cool. So that's still 6%, right? 5.9%, I guess. That's still probably a pretty good number, right? Still a pretty good amount of numbers.
It's a high number.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying
some teams are 100, right?
Yeah, maybe. And then some teams are still low. Like the Colts, they were allegedly low on the vaccination rate, and then now we're still seeing play. Like if a player has a mask on the sideline, that is a direct indicator.
Not vaccinated.
But in Baltimore, it seems like everybody who does press conference has to wear it whenever they're inside.
Didn't we talk about that? Isn't that like a city ordinance type deal? Like the city's making them do that?
And is there any cities that are making players wear the mask on the sideline that are vaccinated or that are not vaccinated? Because then that maybe goes into who's got it, who doesn't got it.
He also said yesterday that there is zero evidence of transmission during outdoor games.
Outdoor.
Wow.
Okay. What about dome?
Yeah, what about domes?
I'd have to ask Dr.
Still
Allen.
crunching the numbers on that.
That would change.
What do they count the Colts as? Because Colts is an open stadium.
Also-
Whatever Jim wants it to be.
Didn't the Packers just play in an open stadium and then or at least one of their players, one
Yeah,
of
they're
their
saying
coaches?
they probably got it off the field.
Okay.
Right? That's probably what they're saying they got it as.
I mean, I would assume, yeah, potentially.
What happens with the holiday season coming up? The holiday season coming up, there's going to be a lot of potential.
Can't do it. Aren't we waiting to see if we're allowed?
That's Christmas. Fauci said maybe no Christmas. I don't know if everybody's good or not. They got to. If we can have Christmas, which is awesome, but I'm talking about players in the NFL. I'm not talking about everybody on earth. I'm talking about players potentially going home, seeing family, chit-chatting with people. There's a chance that this is going to happen, and people are still going to have to miss games for this. I wonder if players are acting like they had to act last year because the world is much different than it was last year. This year, everything is open basically at this point, and people aren't being tested to go in there. Now, granted, there is, when I was out in California, there's signs that say on the front door, FDA has recommended or mandatory if you're not vaccinated to wear a mask if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. And I would open the door into the store, and everybody in there was masked. I was like, oh, everybody in here hates vaccinations, I guess? Or are they just putting the mask on top of that? So I think there is like a give and take for who's comfortable where. But the players have to act as if it's the same as it was last year, right? Because I got vaccinated and I got COVID. I wouldn't have been able to produce a negative test for 11 days. That could have been 2-3 games almost. It's a wild, hey, this is wild that Uncle COVID is still knocking people out of the NFL.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I think we've talked about it over the months and months ago when you guys announced 35 different times that everybody beat COVID. The world was over it.
Calm down.
You guys, you did that, but I feel like the majority of players are vaccinated in the NFL, and I feel like the majority of them are going about their daily lives like they normally would during a normal regular season. They're not acting as much like they were last year where you legit weren't seeing anybody.
Okay, so let's keep an eye on that because Devontae, Lazard, Joe Barry, Thursday night in the biggest game the NFL has had this season between two teams that are definitely going to be dancing later in the playoffs, maybe even see each other very late in the NFC Championship, are out a couple big-time stars. We got to keep an eye on it. Talking about big-time stars, though, it is time to chit-chat with one of those.
Ooh.
Now, we're not 100% sure his height or weight.
Right. No, not at all.
That has been called into question in the office more often than I appreciate. Okay, we need to stay away from that whole thing. But what I say that a guy has brought us so much information that we did not know. When I say a man has made a sport that is not interesting to us for some time, I say that man is one man. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the jet to take off. Jeff Passan.
Let's go!
Blew out your speaker, Jet. All right, listen, the jet took off a little bit too hot. You were standing right next to the engine there. I think maybe the AirPods can't handle the excitement that we all have that you're back on the show, Jet. The World Series is happening. I knew that started yesterday, obviously, when I was told about it live on air. 6-2 dominant win for the Braves. Here we go. Chipper Jones sitting in the stands. The Houston Astros give up one at home. It looked like a dominant win for the Braves. Are we looking at a 4-game sweep right here for the Braves, Jet Passan?
5'9", 170 pounds. Number 2, dressed up for the occasion because this show is special. Number 3, lettuce looks good today. Does it not, Patrick?
Your hair does look incredible right now.
Looks pretty good right now.
Yeah, it's
Looks pretty good
glistening.
right
It's got a good flow, too. Is that hairspray?
Good lighting.
now. No hairspray. It's all natural, baby. I got that soul glow. Come on.
Oh, good for you, dude. Not me. I got hairspray in my hair. You look unbelievable. World Series, though. You have to show up. All eyes on baseball right now.
100%. And here's the thing. I've been getting requests, truly, Pat, on the streets. When are you going on McAfee? When are you going on McAfee? Really? Go back on McAfee. All the time. The people asked for this, Patrick. And you made it happen with the text this morning, and I appreciate that. So, if we're going to talk about baseball.
Welcome back, Jet!
There we go. There we go.
It's great to have you.
Can you go back to the shot? I want to see Connor's hair.
Looks good, dude.
It's getting there,
What the
Jet.
hell is going on with you?
What are you,
is that
magic?
Is that like a reaction to the Sox losing? That, you had to do
Okay,
that?
Jet.
Is it?
Hey, Jet, how about the Sox having an over-under, 75 wins, and we make it all the way to the ALCS? I am very happy with where the Sox are, pal.
Jeez.
I don't, for the first time a few days ago, I don't know, I was in like a Reddit, sometimes you get stuck there, and I saw I saw the video that you made to essentially get this job. Bare-chested, heater-ripping Connor.
That's awesome.
Is it Reddit?
Connor, who's Liz?
Oh, just a neighbor, just an old neighbor. Yeah, way back in the day.
Hey, that is a deep pool. Okay, I didn't know that was on Reddit.
Shit.
That video saved a day for us. We were going through so many videos of people that potentially wanted to join us, and we're very thankful. And obviously, this is when we were at Barstool, and we made a call for interns. Ty came through, Zito, Foxy, and Connor. The video of Connor, it rolled on my TV at my house. We went through like 100 of them. The boys all kind of went down 50 each. We went through 100 videos, and when Connors came on, he's wearing Timbo's khakis, shirtless, it's snowing, smoking a cigarette. Patty, that's what he said. That's how he led off, and I was like, this guy, love this guy. Huh? I'm happy you saw that, but his hair looks majestic, Jet. Just because your soul glow little comb over can't ever look as good as that, we don't need you taking swings here early, Jet. All right, this is baseball celebration day, you know?
You're right. It can't look as good. It just looks better. Sorry.
All right, jeez Louise.
Listen, I'm just talking reality here. Let's talk. You want to talk baseball? Do you really? Hold on this show, do you actually want to talk baseball?
Well, the issue
or do you
is,
want to talk shit?
Well,
like that's what this show is about.
No. This is a sports show. This is a sports show.
Right.
I didn't even know the fucking World Series was happening yesterday. I had no idea, but I did see on the internet that the Braves and Astros were still around. So that is really the only way I knew it. And I turned on the game at 9:54 p.m. last night. It was the third inning. Okay, so I don't know what you guys are doing. I have no idea how you're.
I don't either.
That is a late finish.
It's a problem. Like, it's a real problem now when the biggest games of the year start at 8:00 p.m. when you've been bleeding audience through the years on the day when the commissioner says, quite literally, Rob Manfred said yesterday, we don't consider ourselves a national sport. We look at ourselves as essentially 30 different markets. And you have games ending at midnight, like midnight on a weeknight. I got texts from friends this morning saying I fell asleep in the fifth inning last night, and the games are too slow. They start too late. And here's the thing: there are really good teams and really good players involved in this. There are great storylines. Charlie Morton pitched on a broken leg last night. It was bad as hell, Pat. Like, it was some football, hockey stuff coming to baseball right there. Like, a guy got hit with a comebacker at 102 miles per hour, went out, struck a dude out, got another guy out, took the inning off, came back out and struck Jose Altuve out. 16 pitches. And had a broken damn leg.
Let's go!
Yes, yeah. I mean, it was really impressive. And people aren't watching because the games take too long. Like, simple as that. And I know there are baseball fans out there that say, okay, if you love the game, then you're going to watch the whole time. You're going to appreciate it. I love baseball. 4+ hour games stink. Sorry. That's just the reality. They stink.
I agree. I've been preaching this a long time. Go ahead, AJ.
So, Jet, I assume if Houston's able to close this thing out and win the World Series, all is forgiven, right? Everyone's going to be okay with the cheating scandal and all that, and they say, okay, they're legit?
I don't know. I mean, I hope so, because people in Houston hate me. Like, Pat, I need security details
in Houston
going around this. I need you to come down with the bat. And the tank top and come on.
I'm probably associated with you if I had to guess. I didn't know I'd get you off the show because I like that city of Houston. I didn't know that I was bringing on an enemy of Houston because I thought people use the video of you on this show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Like, they do that to stand up for Jose Altuve all the time. It's like Pessin went on McAfee and said he wasn't wearing buzzers. And it's like, I didn't do that to get back in their good graces. It's just they're perpetually angry, and it's okay because their sports team has been attacked as much as any team in, like, outside of the Patriots, maybe? Like, is there another team that's looked at by a vast majority of fans in a particular sport as villains the same way that the Astros are?
Wasn't it being questioned this year too that their strikeout rates or their hit rate was much better at home than it wasn't? That's going to get called into question every single year, I assume, whenever the Houston Astros are good.
Yeah, of course it's going to. I mean, there is nothing to it. Like, I mean, genuinely nothing to it at this point. I don't listen. Cheating's not out of baseball because cheating is such a fundamental part of baseball that they're always going to come up with new ways to do it. Like, it's kind of the charm in an odd way of the sport. But the idea that there's some sort of sign stealing system in place that's being advantaged for the Houston Astros in particular, nah. I mean, at this point, if there's cheating going on, it's on a completely different level and in a completely different fashion. And we saw that earlier this year with the sticky stuff. And
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is that back or no? Is that gone? Are they still checking pitchers?
Oh, yeah. Still checking pitchers in between every inning. I mean, It's there with some guys, just like performance-enhancing drugs are there with some guys, just like there are some guys who are always going to try and game the system in some way, because baseball for the longest time has encouraged that. And that's like the most frustrating part to me of what the Astros did. In the moment when it happened, it was wrong and it was bad, right? Like, we can all acknowledge cheating in that way to a felonious level like they did is bad for the sport and it's bad for you. But ultimately, the fallout to me is that here we are 4 years after it happened, 2 years after it was reported, and we're still talking about it. We're still paranoid about it. It still has infested the sport to the point where somebody who's a casual fan who doesn't watch much baseball, that's the first thing you think about. That's the first thing you ask about. It's the first thing you want to know about. And it's because of what the Astros, and yes, the Yankees with their Apple Watches and the Boston Red Sox with their... Were you just playing baseball, by the way?
No, I had to put the bat down.
I could tell.
Yeah.
I got my eye on you, Mac.
Yeah,
I was going to join in. I was going to throw you a goddamn pitch right there.
No.
Big curveball.
I want to let you know, I put the bat down because it looked like AJ was starting to step on the mound. Yeah. So I actually
saw it.
Yeah, I stepped out of the batter's box. But it is fascinating.
Bastard.
It is fascinating that it is the negative stuff that always gets chatted about in baseball, right? That is kind of how it's always been. The cheating scandal with the PEDs and whatever else was happening during the home run, the most electrifying era. That goes all the way to Congress. And then this is going to be something that's going to be talked about, just like the Black Sox thing is always going to be talked about. It's like baseball is riddled with negative stories forever. Feels like this Braves thing would be a good story, though, right? If the Braves were to win, this would be good. This is one of the original teams that everybody was a fan of because they're on TBS. They're
That's exactly right.
Even though Manfred, right, didn't think of it as a national league. What a fucking idiot you guys got over there. I mean, just an absolute piece of metal idiot over there. And you can't say it. I'll say it. The opinions of Jet do not necessarily reflect that of mine that says Manfred should not be in a position to be speaking for $1 billion league. I think we've proven that time and time again. But this Braves story seems to be good, right? They're back in prominence. This is good for all of baseball, right?
It is, and it's shocking because Ronald Acuna Jr. is one of the 5 best players in baseball. Tore his ACL right before the All-Star break, trying to make a catch on the warning track and just landed wrong. And at that point, Atlanta was just sort of stuck in neutral. You know, they're supposed to be good coming into this year, and they were playing 500 baseball for first 90 games of the season. And it's like, okay, are they going to sell? No, they didn't sell. They went out and traded for Jock Peterson. Have you seen Jock Peterson, by the way, Pat?
Young Jock, cuz. Love that dude.
Have you seen what he's wearing?
Yeah, of course. Fucking love him, dude. He's got the Pit Vipers on.
Can you get an actual pearl necklace and wear it?
Oh,
could
I
you
didn't
do
know.
that?
Is that what he's wearing?
Yeah,
I thought it was
wearing a pearl necklace.
I don't know if I wear pearl necklaces. Yeah, I didn't know. All right, go on, please. Yeah,
you like wearing pearl necklaces.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hey, pearls are very nice.
Yeah,
Remember,
pearls are cool.
Pearls are very nice.
Who doesn't like pearls?
Pearls are great. Pearl necklace is awesome. All right. I don't know if it's my thing. I'm happy young Jock's got it. Good for him, dude. I love that guy. Jock Peterson. Good baseball
So
player.
Jock Peterson goes there, and then they make a trade for 3 more outfielders. They completely remade their outfield on the fly and said, you know what? Baseball's this sport where you don't need to be the best team to go and win a World Series. And Atlanta came into the postseason with only 88 wins, the fewest of any team in the postseason. But 44 of those wins came in their last 66 games. They finished strong. They look great, and now they got home field advantage, and they're going to be heading back home with a chance to clinch the World Series at their new ballpark.
It's going to be insane down in Atlanta, I assume, if they're able to win. And I think the thing you just said kind of reiterates my point that baseball kind of stinks. You said the best team doesn't win or whatever. I mean, that is very fascinating.
No. But isn't that like part of the beauty of it? You don't go into the postseason knowing who's going to advance to the championship. You don't think that. I mean, think about it. A 106-win Dodger team that an 88-win Atlanta team beat, right? Like, that's an incredible victory right there. And you don't look at the World Series right now and say just because the Dodgers aren't in it, it's fundamentally demonstrably worse. I look at it like, damn, an underdog could win the championship this year. That's kind of rad. Like, it's not going into the postseason with the NFL where if you got a team that's 14-2 or 13-3 or 15-1. Aren't they going to be the favorite? Isn't it going to be surprising if they lose?
Jet.
AJ won a Super Bowl as a 6 seed.
Jet, yeah. Jet, come on. We have underdogs all the time in our sport. That's why our sport is the best. Your sport stinks because you just said the entire season doesn't matter because anybody can win at any time. Nothing matters. 162 games or whatever, none of it matters. That's what you just said, basically, right? Why don't we just have the World Series the first week of baseball?
Is that an argument?
Yes.
Really? None of it matters?
Doesn't matter. You just said 88-win team just beating a 106-win team. I was like, well, who gives a fuck about any of the wins?
Time
then?
real?
Is time even real? Is it just who gets hot at the right time? Who gets cold at the right time? And how come the Pirates always stink? Because I heard there was like 3 Pirates in the World Series right now, maybe potentially doing well. Why is it just some teams can get hot? Like this Houston team. They're just littered with guys that get hot at the right time, or their team is deep. They have a deep bullpen. Is Atlanta have a couple good pitchers that has carried them? How and why is the underdog happen? And why does the regular season have to be 162 games, you think?
First off, the Pirates stink because you don't own them.
They would stink more. I don't know baseball. I just said, let's have the World Series opening week. I don't know if I'm the right guy. But the owner does stink. Yeah, you're right.
The baseball season is a test of stamina. It's a test of wills. But it's just in the end a lottery ticket, right? It just gets you into this postseason where you got 5 games and sometimes the best team isn't going to win a 5-game series. And I think that's the difference between baseball and football. If you were to play 100 games with a 14-2 team against the Jaguars or whoever it is, how many times is that 14-2 team going to win? 99?
Trevor Lawrence might get hot, and Urban Meyer too. I mean, it depends on how many chop house visits we got in between there.
Good point.
Maybe 10 wins, 8 wins. He'll slip by the 14-2 team.
Yeah, in baseball, if you have a 100-win team and a 60-win team, the 60-win team is going to beat them probably 35 times. And so, to me, it makes it a very, and I'm sorry, I'm going to use this word that people are going to need to look up in the dictionary here. It's a very egalitarian sport.
Jeez.
It's a sport that, exactly. Listen, you invited me on. You know what you're getting here, Pat. This is not my fault. This is entirely your fault.
I love it, though. I might use it on Friday night and act like it's my own. Egalitarian is like parody?
Yeah, egalitarian is just something that's even and fair for all. And like when Rafe Boogs comes out and he's ripping the guitar. I'm sorry, Rick Boogs comes out and he's ripping the guitar.
Boogs.
Fixed it.
I didn't even know who you were talking about. I didn't even know who you were talking about with how bad you pronounce that.
I did. No, there's someone on Twitter who's a basketball writer. I screwed that one up bad. Anyway, let's stop talking about wrestling. Let's get back on baseball.
Yeah, baseball has its time to shine here in the World Series. Joe Buck's calling games. It's October. Things are happening. And we have Jet Passenger. Jet, you're always very good on the show. You are good for baseball. I am a very open speaker about how I have no idea how anybody can watch baseball. I have no clue how anybody can do it. I am incredibly proud of those who can. The stamina of the players over the 162-game season is also matched equally by the stamina of the fans who are able to watch those entire games. I have too much ADD, need too much action. I played soccer growing up, couldn't even watch soccer either. So, it's just how I am. But every time you come on, I learn about what's going on. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Ty.
Jed, I saw a tweet that basically said it's possible that there would be a potential work stoppage around the time of the winter meetings. Was that just some guy talking out of his ass? And if it is, how will that affect the Yankees offering Carlos Correa $400 million?
Okay, so yes, there is very likely going to be a work stoppage. Now, we have to understand though
for about 100 games, or
no, not all work stoppages are the same. This is one because the collective bargaining agreement expires December 1st. It's not really going to have any effect for about 2 months. Now, that gives the union and the league a 2-month window to negotiate some kind of a deal before spring training happens, and so free agency can start. Because everything, and I mean everything, if there's a lockout, which is what it would be, everything's going to freeze. Now, you know what baseball free agency is typically like. It sucks. It takes 4 months. It gets dragged out. It's nothing like the NFL or the NBA, which has this incredible period of action and excitement, and you got dudes signing right and left, and it's great.
Woo!
We may actually get that in baseball this year. So it's going to be interesting. As for the Yankee side, you want Correa or Seager? Which one?
Ooh. I'd rather have Correa.
And we'd also
Why is
have
that?
Aaron Boone out the door.
Wow, that ain't gonna happen. I mean,
No,
if it came down to it, beheading Aaron Boone and
Whoa,
putting
whoa,
him cash.
Oh, hold on.
From a figurative standpoint,
Yeah,
of course.
obviously. Or if you want to throw him in the East River, that works too.
Whoa.
Figuratively, of course.
Probably a good swimmer.
Jeez.
Probably.
I don't know.
That's a man.
I don't know if Aaron Boone's
Nice
good.
man, too. It's unbelievable.
Hey, Jet.
Yeah?
Baseball stinks, dude. I mean, it is. I was trying to, do another thing. If they have a work stoppage, a lockout, just from being a part of one, a lockout from the owners were telling us we couldn't come to work. The owners were not paying us. The owners were the ones that weren't happy with whatever's going on. The owners were locking us out, but it was perceived as a strike by the fans.
Yeah.
And the fans hated the players, even though the players are much more relatable to the fans because the players are mostly all fans for some team at some point, as opposed to the billionaire owners. And the PR was very much against the players. If the
well, Pat, doesn't that mean that we need to actually talk about what's going on here to educate the fans?
Sure.
To make the fans understand that in this ideological war between the players and the owners, if you're rooting for the owners, you're rooting for laundry. If you're rooting for the players, you're rooting for people. And and in the end,
that was deep.
Laundry.
What is the
laundry?
The uniform.
What is?
Brian.
Oh, that was fucking deep. You were talking about the uniform? I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about money being cleaned, laundering.
Oh no, that would have been even better, actually. No, I'm not accusing anyone of money laundering on your show, Pat. I'm sorry.
Smart. You can't do that. You work at ESPN.
True.
Like if we do that, it'd be like, yeah, those idiots over there. Yeah, those idiots over there potentially did that. But yeah, when the lockout happened for the players, I remember a lot of people turning on it. And in hockey, the hockey had a lockout in the work side. It devastated the league for years and years when it came to the fans who thought that both the players and the team turned their back on their loyalty, especially to a sport like baseball that is so miserable and hard to watch. The fans, all these years, I've wasted 6-7 hours a day watching these games never end, and now you're going to stop because you guys can't figure out a money thing? That is, I don't want to say baseball's already been punched, I think, a couple times, but that would be very tough. Hopefully they're able to get that done. And it seems like Rob Manfred's a guy that can really navigate those waters in a very good fashion, I assume. Well, we have one last question for you, Jet, here before we have to get to a break. Go ahead, Gumpy.
Good to see you again,
Yeah.
Jet.
My goodness, the beard is looking very dyed these days.
Oh, my God.
That's not real, Jet. You know that. I saw that you said bunts didn't work, and then a bunt kind of helped the team win the game.
Yeah.
Are you going to change your mind on shitty averages and homers win baseball games, or?
Yeah. I'd like to congratulate you on essentially getting a hot chick for one time in your life and thinking it's some sort of trend here. Just because something happens once does not mean that it's good. Teams that have out-homered other teams in the playoffs are winning this year at a 900-something percentage. That's 9 out of every 10. If you're telling me teams that go and bunt 9 out of every 10 times successfully are going to win, you're wrong.
It's
So go
actually
ahead.
just all a part of the game, Jet. It's all a part of the game. You can do both.
Part of your garbage ass old game. Antiquated.
That game that you're a part of, Jet. Attaboy.
All right.
Hopefully you can get a tailor for your pants, Jet. Get a tailor for your pants.
This is getting ugly. We need you two to put your swords
Where
down.
do you find those wide leg pants?
Oh, jeez. Anyways,
Listen,
you two need to
gotta
put...
have room for a reason when you're packing heat.
Getting so fired on here, going to go.
All right, you two, put your swords aside, okay? Put the cannons down. You're two of the only baseball fans on this earth. Need you not going after each other. Ladies and gentlemen, ESPN, MLB insider, and senior reporter, Jet Pass. Yeah, Jet! We got to get to a break right now. Like right now. We got to get to a break. We're back in 4 minutes. We'll see you then, Grandpa. The Jet took off, and it's smooth sailing, it seems like, into the break. We'll see you in 4. They want to play for the Yankees one day, the people I'm playing against. They want to play for the fucking Yankees.
Check out, like, in there, we put a little surprise in there for you.
About to get iced, it feels like. I mean, let's start the day.
What the fuck you get
It's great to be a member of the Washington Wild Things baseball team. We're number 1 in the league, right?
Yeah, let's
fuck everybody. Fuck everybody else. When I take BP, will there be anybody telling me how to fucking hit? No. It feels like the wind's blowing this way. Might have to attack that fence tonight, huh? Hey, you got it! Does the DJ play heaters like this all night? I started hitting 2 days ago. Oh, you'll be fine. I think I figured it out.
You'll probably only face 90 miles an hour.
Is that me in the game then? This is a good at-bat. This is a good at-bat. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Give me it!
1-1 pitch.
Let's go!
Line drive.
Oh,
right
son of a
at
bitch! That came down a lot faster than I thought, though. Let's be honest.
It's deep, and it is off the wall. Field it up.
Excuse me! If you could all get off of my dick, we would be better off. Tell you what, would have been nice to take a nap earlier.
Another throw.
Get back!
First.
You have to tell me when that's happening. You're making me look bad. Hey, Steven, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, Steven. Hey, nice pitch. 149. Does that feel good, Steven? Oh, wow. Wow.
He tosses him the ball.
Wow. Back to being a player now. Making plays. Touchdown. What inning is it?
Second.
Jesus. But it was finally my time to get in that box.
Number 1, the right fielder, the former punter from West Virginia, a former Indianapolis Colt, and a current Barstool Sports personality, Pat McAfee.
The anticipation is real.
Oh, fuck.
Hit out.
I'm in the hole? Son of a bitch. This is about to happen.
And that will bring up Pat McAfee once again.
First pitch from Reynaldo Lopez, swing and a miss by McAfee.
Hey. What was that? And the catcher goes, I had to give you one.
Looked off speed.
What was that? Then I look at the pitcher, and he's smiling. He's like laughing, like he's toying with me like I'm a child. It all comes down to this. My last at-bat. Hey, I'm gonna get on. You bring me home. This is your life on the line, fucker.
Let me tell you something. If you're going to take an L, okay, you're going to take one.
So I think that the close your eyes and swing method is perfect for you.
Oh, this is hardball.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Jesus. You have no prayer.
All right. Number 1, right fielder, Pat McAfee.
Oh, boy. Oh, this is the thing. Let's go! Thank you. I'll tell you what, it was pretty cool. Roger Goodell gave me a big hug beforehand, too, so that's good news there. Thank you so much. Shane, you drinking? Yeah. Cheers to you, man. That was a good one. That was good. That was I feel like it went pretty good. Oh, look at the phone.
This This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Wow.
What? That's right. Got about 30 seconds left till the end of the hour on Sirius XM. I apologize for being terrible host. AJ, anything to say to the beautiful people before hour 3's on Sirius here?
All right. Hopefully we will come back and we'll address Gump and Jet going at it a little bit. So.
A little bit of unprofessionalism from the two baseball people that we know, but I like that they got after it. Sirius XM will see you in about 6 minutes. The party continues here on YouTube. Man, I made it away now. We are down, baby, made it away now. Oh, my mama told me one day a love like you would only, don't leave me lonely. Ain't that right, AJ?
It's a good song. Where's it been?
You know, it gets lost in a playlist, to be honest. A lot of scrolling
Now,
on the
who
mouse.
are these guys? Who sings this?
Late Night Special Band.
Los Lonely Boys.
No, it's not the Los Lonely Boys.
Los Lonely Boys.
This ain't the Island Boys.
Oh.
No, not
This
that.
ain't the Los Lonely Boys. This is Late Night Special Band. This is a heater. I think they have some more bangers coming out, too.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I think they've kind of... Because there was a time where I don't think they knew that we did this like once a week, and then we had an interaction because we got something on our channel, and then we interacted. I think they have a concert or whatever. Like, they got some real shit.
Oh, wow.
Coming. Hey, they're good.
Oh, yeah.
Big fan.
I think they're traveling.
Little tour.
It is amazing. I'm a big lyrics guy when I listen to songs. Have to like the lyrics, won't like the song if I don't. That particular song, I have sang it out loud probably 100 times at this point.
At least.
I have no clue what those fucking words are.
No.
They sound pretty good, though.
You gotta beep, bop, boop, bop, boop, bop, take it away now. And all young and I'm now, give it away now. I know my mama told me one day a love like you would only, don't leave me lonely. Last minute. Just get to the chorus. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
It's like any song. Any song. Just get to the hook and repeat that.
No, see? So you're just a sound listener, right? You like the good sounds?
No, I need both, but the lyrics have to match. Like I'm both, I would say.
Okay, I can respect that. I listen to the verses, and if I don't like the story being told or think that it has any good effort involved, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I wish this beat was used on somebody else's song. And then I just kind of venture out of the song and I hit next. That's just kind of how I do it, which is why, this younger generation, we had a full conversation on the musicians of now versus the musicians of our day and the musicians from before. I think that's why everybody doesn't like the next generation's music, because the relatability potential to the lyrics.
Minus the Island Boys, obviously.
Everybody likes the Island Boys.
Yes.
True.
Except for Evie.
I'm an island boy.
Have they put out a second hit yet?
Well, there's going to be one coming, we think.
We love coconuts.
The island boy. We got the cameo. Alex Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They did an InfoWars cameo.
Really? Wait, Alex Jones ordered it?
InfoWars, .com, Alex. Yeah, they did the whole thing. That's on the internet.
Sick.
Right? It's Cameo. Cameo will get you wide open. And we're trying to make a banger with them as well. I will let you know we are potentially in their inbox, kind of sitting and waiting. I can't wait for you to hear that one.
Oh, you're trying to get the Island Boys to do a cameo for you?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. What's their rate right now?
I think it's 160 or something like
160,
that.
325 for 1 day notice.
Yeah, so we're going to try to do a 500 one. Like, hey, we need it this afternoon.
Need it right now.
I guess, I don't know if the inbox is getting it's probably a deep inbox right now, if I had to guess. We gave him a lot to work with, though.
Yeah.
We gave him a lot to work with in that cameo. Do you have a cameo?
No, I don't. I'm sure they'd reach out to you. Yeah. They've asked me to do it multiple times. I don't know. I've thought about it. I really have, but I just would be, I would be very bad at those videos. I just don't think I could do it.
I don't think you'd be bad at those videos, but this is just like somebody paying for me to autograph something. Like, I feel weird that somebody has to pay for that. Like, hey, if we ever run into each other, there's a good chance whatever you want me to say, I'll probably say with you. No big deal. I just don't like the thought of, if you put a price on something, it's like, is it really worth? Probably not. But for what it actually would be worth, I'm not going to spend any time of my day to do it. It's just, you know what I mean? And there's some people charging like $500 for these videos. And I'm like,
some people, that's all they do. Some people,
sleep?
that's their profession right now.
Baumgartner crushes them.
Hey, he's everywhere. I'm Baumgartner. That's your guys' guy.
Yeah, he does great on Cameo.
Yeah, but he's in your guys' crew, right?
Yeah, he used to come to Packer games. He still does. And, yeah, we see him in Tahoe and around.
He ever making cameos for you guys?
I don't know. Man, maybe I have made it. I probably had him do a cameo for Aaron or something without him knowing.
Perez Hilton is that's your go-to for the cameo, right? Because he
Perez has made a few cameos, for different people that I know. And that dude, he goes above and beyond whatever you put.
He goes all in.
He is all in. He's not just half-assing it.
There's production value in it. There's backdrops.
You can tell he cares about that. He's like, I want this to be great. Every single one he does.
And I appreciate that and I respect that. That's how everybody should be on Cameo. And that's what the Island Boys do.
Yeah.
No, Island Crypto, the Info Wars. Yeah.
Trying to make it to the top.
Trying to make it to the sun. Yeah.
Through the storm, through the rain.
All right, hour 3 with Chuck Pagano begins. This is a good transition. This is real host show.
When's he on?
It's real host shit. This is real show host stuff. You know what I mean? He's on like 205-ish.
Good. Okay.
All right, hour 3 starts in about 10 seconds. This is going to be the best hour of radio, sports, YouTube of all time.
Hell yeah!
Woo! Starting about 3 seconds. Wait till you see this hour that's coming. It's fucking high heat, dude.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on this beautiful Coach Us Up Chuck Wednesday, October 27th, 2021 begins right now. Thank you all for joining us either on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, or YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. AJ Hawk is sitting to my left. Ton Diggs is in the room, the host of Hammer Dahn, which goes 15 minutes after each show ends here at YouTube.com/Hammer Dahn. At Boston Connor and Ty Schmidt. Talks to the boys in the back. Appreciate you. A lot of information coming out of league meetings that are happening in New York right now. We will continue to chit chat about that and those things. Charles Robinson just had a tweet of Yahoo Sports. I'm not suggesting the Washington football team probe email leaks aren't important, but Seth Wickersham reported about several powerful owners lining up in a contentious stance versus Rams Stan Kroenke, and by extension, his Cowboys ally, Jerry Jones. That is the biggest bomb at the NFL owners meeting. So Jerry has come out and said that he thinks that the NFL handled the Washington football team investigation well. This goes against what Mark Davis said, and Jerry said, I speak for all owners. Now, in this lawsuit, is that what this is about? Is this about the lawsuit?
St. Louis lawsuit, I believe.
Yeah, this is about the St. Louis lawsuit about the wrongful termination of a contract in which Stan Kroenke took the Rams to Los Angeles out of St. Louis because no new... In our eyes, what we were all told is there was no new stadium that was ever on the horizon. And to be clear, that dome was a bit of a dump when you compare it to other stadiums. It probably was once incredible, but I think they need a new one. That was always going to be a leverage point for any team to get a new stadium, as we will leave and go to LA. St. Louis did that. There's now a lawsuit from the Sports Authority in St. Louis, I believe,
right,
which is a very large law. I think it's $1 billion lawsuit or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now that's becoming an entire conversation piece. We do not know any more of that than what Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports just tweeted about. We will obviously have to watch. A lot of drama, AJ. This is their first time meeting in person since December 2019. There's a lot of drama coming out of these meetings, AJ Hawk.
I'm kind of surprised that they decided to meet in person in New York. They could have easily just said, hey, due to COVID, we're going to do this virtual, and not have to deal with all the press standing there waiting for them.
Yeah, and then I guess you would have to think that that would immediately be ripped and put on the internet. They could have done it like Wichita. You know,
Yeah, they should have made it really hard for people to get to them.
But I think people would have went.
Think about it, though. All of them are flying private, and they can go anywhere. Smallest airports make it super hard for all the national media to get there. Like, that'd have been a dick move.
I was in Wichita this past week, and I sat in traffic in Wichita, Kansas. That was something that was a little bit eye-opening.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, there's traffic out here? This is crazy. I did not expect this. In the FBO, which is like the little airport that you land at or whatever, nicest I've ever seen in my entire life. Had a mall in it, had a subway, had an entire thing. So whenever I say Wichita, Kansas to have these meetings, I don't mean that Wichita isn't a good place. I'm sure it's a fantastic spot. I've seen nothing but nice things. But you're right, doing it in New York or LA, and then, you know, for the first time since 2019, there's a lot of shit that needs to be addressed and talked about. They're in the thick of it here, looking at Week 8. Joining us now is a former head coach in the NFL, a man who's been at these coaches' meetings. I don't know if that's the same league meetings or not. A guy who's going to break down everything happening for the coaches across the NFL. A man who's been coaching football for over 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Pagano. What's up, man?
So, guys.
What you got?
How we doing?
You in a corner? You in an office right now? You got a good little shot over the window there. You look fantastic against the backdrop. How are you doing?
Doing great. Coming to you guys live from Boulder, Colorado.
What's in Boulder?
Born and raised here 61 years ago. This is where I was born and raised, and my family's still here. So I jumped in the car, as you know, with Taylor and Tori, my middle and youngest daughter, my grandson Bear. Drove them down, 2-day trip, stopped in Little America, Wyoming, stayed the night. Great adventure, great trip, and landed here yesterday. And we got us a little VRBO, and going to spend time with my mom and dad and introduce my family down here to Bear.
So we got 4 generations of Paisans meeting right now in Boulder, Colorado after a stop in Wyoming. I can't thank you enough for joining us, Chuck. And your Q&A on your IG stories was fucking awesome. All right. Clearly, Chuck has no idea what this is. He has no clue what's going on, but his youngest daughter, middle daughter, running that thing, taking random pictures of where they're traveling through, random pictures of Coach, asking him questions. That was incredible. We very much enjoyed it over here at the office. I think you should do more of those.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't my idea. I had no idea what was going on till started getting some questions. He was in the backseat. Tori's in the backseat running the show, taking the videos, sitting next to Bear. And, hey, we got some questions coming in. And some of the questions were a little bit crazy, but it was fun.
Okay, well, let's get to some chit-chat, shall we, that we can ask you about. Your question, Earth, Wind, and Fire, by the way, I didn't know that. That was the big thing. I'm sure you turned it on in the car, by the way, started dancing. Are you a dancing and driver? Did you dance and drive, or are you just focused on the road?
Oh, everything. Dancing, some stuff we don't want to talk about.
All right, let's get to it. Let's start chit-chatting about stuff that you know more about than us. These league meetings, did you ever have to go to this? Because we see like the head coach's picture. It's like a high school picture or whatever. Are these the meetings that this is middle of the season, but are these the types of meetings that head coaches go to as well? Or is this just executive and front office type stuff?
These are just the owners, right now. The spring meetings, which included, every head coach, every GM, owners. Shoot, there must have been 50, 60 people, personnel from each club attend these meetings. We go from Florida one year, then out to the Biltmore in Arizona. They were phenomenal. I can't imagine the dime that the NFL drops on these things. And now they're doing them because of COVID. They're doing them via Zoom. I guess they're in person in this one. I saw the, couple episodes, your episode earlier of those guys reporting from there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to discuss right now. This is just the owners together right now, kind of state of the union, middle of the season. Like you said, all the coaches, everybody's busy getting ready for week 8 of the National Football League. So some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
I'd say, Chuck, would you say Jim Irsay would go to these meetings? How much communication would you have back and forth with him? I know you'd be probably in the middle of your season, but would you talk about, hey, what happened there, Jim? What are you guys talking about? What do I need to look out for? How much communication do you guys have?
Yeah, it was kind of a need to know
AJ. So if it was something that was pertinent to myself or the club or something that was going to affect us, from a competitive standpoint, that was one thing. But usually, he kept that stuff, the league meetings this time of year to himself. He obviously knew we had a task at hand in preparation for the upcoming game. So again, unless it was something crazy, going on, like with the Washington football team and these 650,000 emails and what's happened, with the Las Vegas Raiders and John Gruden being out and, Paisan Richie football being 2-0 and all that stuff. He didn't bother me with that kind of stuff. It was him, the GM, and again, we're on a need to know.
Yeah, and I think that's how Richie Bisaccia is handling it, and he has to. He's been able to turn that team around, which is beautiful for the Italian-American community. Beautiful. I want to talk to you about how a coach would feel like Tomlin, for instance. Mike Tomlin yesterday, when he addressed the rumors of him going to USC, and he said, are you asking Sean Payton these questions, Andy Reid these questions? There isn't a booster with a blank check big enough to get me out of the best job in the sports, basically, which is the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. How awkward is it when you know that maybe a coordinator is going to go get a head coaching job somewhere, or maybe your name is being referenced? And how come everybody doesn't come out and do what Tomlin does? Is that because most people are full of shit and don't know what's going to happen in the future?
Yeah, what a great interview Mike is. I mean, I love him just as much as you guys love him. He's phenomenal, and he's been that way for a long, long time. I watched it. I loved it. He's getting ready to play, a huge football game. Every week's huge, in the National Football League, because the next game is a huge one. And so you don't want to be dealing with questions like that. You want to talk about, your team. You want to talk about your opponent. You want to talk about, what you need to do to win this football game. And certainly not field and answer questions as stupid as the one that they asked him, regarding the USC job in that situation. I mean, come on, man. What's he been the head coach of the Steelers for, 14 years?
Yep, 15 maybe.
I mean, 50, unbelievable. And to ask him if, anything about that situation, they deserve the response. I got asked a bunch of things, over the course of my tenure in Indy, things that had nothing to do with, winning football games, our team, our opponent. And, I always tried to kill them with kindness, the media, and just kind of, not, answer them and not, well, you answer them without answering them, but kind of leave them sitting there with like hot coals in their laps, don't overreact. But this situation here with what they, asked Mike Tomlin about that job and the situation that they're in, totally ridiculous. But you got to expect that from the media.
Right. That's their job. I guess they're going to ask questions. I thought for Tomlin, I was like, hey, it's a compliment that your name is being thrown out there, I feel like. And he says, you don't ask Sean Payton or Andy Reid. And I'm thinking, yeah, because they're not candidates for the job. So I think it's a compliment to Tomlin. I understand you don't want to deal with the questions at the time, but he mentioned Andy Reid. Andy Reid came out and said he's seen things he's never seen before from his own team. What do you do? Like, when they're at this point in the season, we know they have talent. They're just not living up to the expectations. Like, what can he do?
Yeah, when you look at the Chiefs right now and you look at the predicament that they're in, you're sitting at the bottom of the AFC West when we just expect Andy Reid's offense. We expect the Kansas City Chiefs to win week in and week out and not be in this situation. You'd love to have a bye. We talked about it last week, right? You'd love to have a bye week, but they don't get there until week 12. Oh. So they just got to keep, it's like a batter that's in a slump, not one that's bunting, but one that's, swinging for the fences, Gump. But anyway, you just keep swinging, swinging that bat and, and stick to your process and all that coach speak. But, they got to play better, and they got to quit turning the ball over. If you look at their turnover margin, Super Bowl season of 19 and 20, and then 2020, they're always +5, +6, +7. Right now, they're at the bottom of the league at -10 turnover margin. You're not going to win any football games -10. The 3 wins that they have, they were even. The 4 losses that they have, they're -11. You're not going to win football games. And right now, the defense can't stop anybody. They can't stop a nosebleed, not the run, not the pass. They can't get off the field. I think they're 30th on third down, 28th or 29th in red zone defense. They're not generating any pass rush, any sacks. They're like 32nd, in sacks. So, again, you got to just look at the tape, evaluate it, see what you have. They've missed some guys from an injury standpoint. Chris Jones has missed some games. Charvarius Ward, a corner, has missed some time. Frank Clark, their best pass rusher, has missed 2 or 3 games. So they got to get some guys back. They've had most of the pieces still on that football team. They're just in a funk. And we used to say, you just got to get this shit off it. We got to get this stink off us.
Yeah.
And the only way to get it off, AJ, as you know, is you got to win a freaking football game. You got to get it, because winning cures everything. As we know.
Chuck, I have a question for you, because I think something that's also potentially happening, and it's it should be talked about in Tua's situation with Deshaun lingering overhead and that smoke being loud, and Tua just happened to be a professional. Hey, he's 23 years old, but he has to be professional. He's never had to deal with this before in his life, I don't think, but he has to be professional with his boss, the GM, whoever, potentially wanting another quarterback that we don't even know if he can play at this moment. Have you ever had to deal with like the human side of it? Like Patrick Mahomes has now been thrusted into superstardom. $500 million. His family's got shit going on the internet that's potentially bringing some negative attention as well. Expectations are through the roof. How do you, coach up somebody who's potentially going through something that you could never predict? They can't give you a book on how to get through it, how to handle it. Do you think there's a chance that Patrick Mahomes is potentially letting a little bit of, life get in the way of his performance? And you think he's ever going to be able to get through it and on the other side of that?
Yeah, all great questions, Pat. And, success sometimes is much harder to deal with and handle than failure. And so with those big contracts, $500 million deal, 10 years, comes a lot of expectations. And you don't know. I don't know his circumstances. I don't know his situation. He seemed to be squared away, and so like he's going through some stuff right now, and he's turning the ball over. Whether it's any of that, I don't know the answer to that. You guys don't know the answer to that. But we've seen guys sign big contracts. The expectations go through the roof, and they get sideways, and they start, putting more pressure on themselves. They start pressing. They try to do too much, because they're not playing well right now. He's trying to put too much maybe on his plate, try to do too much, and things are just going the other way for those guys. As far as Miami's concerned, if you watch that football team right now, you certainly think all this talk about a Deshaun Watson, trade and Tua's our quarterback. The more that, B-Flow comes out and says, hey, Tua's our quarterback, Tua's our quarterback, Tua's our quarterback, the more we all think that guy's out the door. That guy's not our quarterback, And I think it affects the whole damn. You shouldn't have to say it. You shouldn't have to say it. It's one of those things that, this guy ain't with us. We don't know if he's going to be with us. There's so much, speculation surrounding Deshaun Watson and his future that you can't speculate that. But does it permeate throughout the locker room? Does it permeate through your organization, your fan base, your players? Absolutely. All those guys are thinking the same thing, and they're like, okay. Yeah, we're playing for contracts. I'm playing to feed my family. I'm trying to put food on the table, all this and the other. But something is sour down there right now, and if you it's just losing, not good.
Chuck, if you keep losing, it's only going to get louder and worse. I mean, it is only going to get louder and worse. And those games, those close games that maybe you win, maybe it is potentially all of the uncomfort and guys maybe. I mean, there is so much that goes into team building, and shit like that can poison it. It literally can poison it, and it never gets talked about because I think a lot of players and coaches even are just treated like Madden players. Like, hey, show up, you're an 85. Show up, you're a 99. You're a 92. It's like, well, what about maybe fuck these people here? Like, what does that make me? Does that make me a 75? Does that make me a 90? Whatever the case, you got to be as professional as possible. You continue to lose, though, it's only going to get louder and worse. Go ahead, Tone.
Coach, Bengals, young football team. They're hot, beating a division rival. They got a division rival next week in the Browns, but sandwiched in between that, they are playing the lowly Jets on the road, third straight road game. Is that like the worst nightmare for a coach, for a young team that's riding high, playing a Jets team where maybe they could sleepwalk in there?
I think it can be, but like you said, this football team and Zach Taylor, he's done a phenomenal job. And you guys are always busting their balls about their facilities and
that's real.
The media podium, and no, it is real, and it stinks. And they're overcoming all that. In spite of all that, we know the Brown family don't like to spend money. They never had a scouting staff. The coaches had to do all that stuff. And I'm going on a tangent here, but they do not spend money. You know, Mr. Brown is a fabulous human being, and that family is unbelievable. And yeah, you can go on and on about it, but you know that guy wore a ball cap and suspenders, you know, and to the owners' meetings. I mean, he hadn't bought a new shirt in some time. with all due respect, they're not spending money on an indoor and all that thing. But you know, back to your question, I think it can be, but I think this team is just young enough where, you know, everything that the coaches are saying, everything that they're preaching, you know, about, you know, blinders and earmuffs and don't listen to the hype, because all that great shit that they're telling you right now and talking about you, it ain't true. And the other side of that, you know, if you're 1-5 or you're 1-6 and whatever, that ain't true either when they talk all that other stuff about you. But I think this is a phenomenal football team. Joe Burrow, like you guys know, and Jamar Chase and that defense. I mean, it's exciting and it's fun to watch. And to go into Baltimore and do that to the Ravens on their home field, I never saw that coming. I know, and I don't know anybody else who would have said, "Hey, look, I picked the Bengals. They were going to crush the Ravens 41-17. This is going to be a beatdown." You know, maybe Mattress Dave or Mattress Mac or what is that freaking?
Hey, he's about to. Hey, Atlanta. Did you bet on Atlanta or Houston?
Houston.
Oh, see, I thought
Houston
he was
Astros.
Yeah, but I thought he was from Houston, so he bets on the other team.
Because no, the deal is if they run a special. If Houston wins the World Series, he gives away free mattresses. So he's got to make up for his lost mattresses if Houston wins by betting on them to win.
Oh, and then he gets better odds, so he actually makes money off it.
Is that called hedging?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Whoa.
You are too Italian to be saying that, sir. You are too Italian to be saying that.
No, but the Cincinnati deal, that can be a scary thing. We talked about that before, about riding high and playing really, really good, and then going into, you know, the lowly Jets and you know, you guys talked about Coach Bob, right?
Saleh?
Let's go. They were on him this week too. You listen to Stephen A. and all these guys about, you know, this whole deal and, you know, a certain way. We talked about it before. Show your passion, show your juice, show your energy, inspire those fucking kids to go play some damn football.
Yeah, because Bob, whenever he was coming out of San Fran and everybody wanted him, he was the high-energy guy. Here we are. Now it's like he's a head coach. He has a different cap on. Now, granted, he doesn't have the team that he had in San Fran, and that's where we were all introduced to him. But it does seem like much like a corporate Bob. It almost feels like a corporate Bob. And it's like, hey, I don't know if – but granted, we talked to Aaron Rodgers, you know, after they had joint practices, and we asked him about Zach, and he said – Zach's going to have to wait until that team gets a little bit better, I think. So that was like an indicator to me, like, oh, Aaron just practiced against this team. I was like, this team is bad. Yeah. That is kind of, he didn't say that, but kind of ipso facto. But maybe a little juice, maybe a little buy-in could turn that entire thing around, especially with the young team. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, hard to have juice when the Pats are beating you like a fucking drum. Too,
That's a lot. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, a lot of points.
That's
41.
a lot of points.
54? Wow.
Hey, we've been on the other end of that a couple times.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, Chuck, the Lions went to the Rams, and the Lions basically did everything they could with the fake punts and onside kicks. Have you ever had to prepare for a team that you know is going to unload the chamber and legitimately try everything to win, or have you been on a team where you guys are going to do all those type of things, and how is that process throughout the week, preparing for it or preparing to do it?
Yeah, not to that magnitude, but certainly yes, on both ends of that. And, you know, having, you know, Pat, you know, on our team, the surprise onside kicks, the stuff that he could do with that leg, and I don't know how many you got, Pat, but we always had those, you know, in our arsenal. We had bullets, you know, in the gun prepared. We always wanted to go into a game if something would show itself. The throws and things like that, we kind of put those on ice, but the onside kicks were unbelievable. But no, the onside kicks and things like that, when you play a team like Detroit, I think when you're the opposing team, you always think, okay, because you can look at it two ways. Okay, he's being very, very aggressive. He's coaching his ass off. He's trying everything to give his team the best possible chance to win this football game. Or you can look at it like these sumbitches are desperate as hell. All right, they're going to do anything in this football game to try to get an extra possession to win this football game. And they get up 7-0. They try the surprise onside. They get it. So you go into a deal saying, hey, they're desperate. They're going to try anything and everything, to try to win this game. So you prepare your team accordingly in all three phases to handle all that.
How about that PP sweep? It didn't even look like there was an edge anywhere near being set there on that. Whenever the Lions were punting their second fake punt or whatever, that PP direct snap, there wasn't even a thought or an edge. There wasn't even a person on the sideline, I don't think. And this is why I said, like, this could go in coaching. There's normally 3 to 4 people yelling from the sideline, whether it was me, Vinny, Tom McMahon, Mo, who's now at Green Bay. If the situation called for it, hey, eyes up here. Like, hey, watch the ball. Like, hey, let's, there was some sort of indication. Like, hey, let's remind these, just like whenever kickoff return, hey, watch the ball being kicked so that there is no surprise onside kick. Like, I feel like whenever I was very lucky to be a part of a team, there was always some people screaming that. And I was always like, at first, well, obviously these professionals know, but there's a lot of shit to think about on every single play. Who's my guy? Who am I blocking? Which way we running? How do I got to go set this block up? So there's always like those reminders, like, hey, watch it. It felt like there was none of that for the Rams.
How do you not ever have somebody put an edge on any football play?
Ever.
How do you not ever go force a punt? Say you're doubling, outside, and you got a light box, you got 6 in the box, you still got to go force the punt, because if everybody just holds up and turns and run, you've seen the one where you just act like you're punting and you just run right behind everybody down the field because they're blocking their guy. But you always have somebody force a kick. You always have an edge on everything. And like you said, we're all screaming. I don't care if it's 4th and a million. Watch the fake.
Watch the fake.
God damn it. Get outside. Do this. And then the ball snap, it's kicked. You're just like, oh, fuck. God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
That's real, though. And that's why I was so impressed that the Lions got 2 fakes. It was like there was some, after a surprise onside, 1 fake where Jack Fox threw an absolute dime, a seed to the gunner. And then after that third one, at some point you would think everybody would be like, hey, eyes up here. This team seems to be doing whatever the hell they want to do.
No. So to that point, Pat, you're thinking, okay, we've got a fake and then a fake. Okay, there's no more. You're the special teams coach, Tommy, man. Hey, don't worry about any more of that shit. There's no way they're going to try this again. And then you're like, huh?
They spent their entire special teams periods practicing all those things. The amount of time that had to be put in for that to happen, unbelievable. They had a plan. They executed it. They still didn't win, which has to be a record. 2 fake punts successfully and a surprise onside kick. Still lost, but the other team didn't cover. Son of a bitch.
Come on.
But go ahead, Ty.
Coach Joe Barry's not coaching the defense for the Packers on Thursday night because of COVID. Was there any, ever a situation when you were a D coordinator, would you prepare guys that, hey, you might have to call the plays if I'm not going to be there? And how much of an actual drop-off or difference do you think it is from the D coordinator giving all the calls to someone who has to fill in for him?
Yeah, Ty, I don't think I think there is a drop-off. Because there's a feel, there's a rhythm to this stuff. Your voice being heard, whether he calls it in over the coach to mic or not, but it's a different voice, a different way to call things, a different mindset. You can put the game plan together. He's still involved in the Zoom calls. He's talking to the assistant coaches, this, that, and the other, but it's not his voice. It's not his gut. It's not his experience of doing that job. And, sitting, as a position coach or sitting in the living room, it seems a hell of a lot easier than it really is. So, there's a drop-off. I certainly think the coaches that's going to call it, again, they're talking about the game plan. They're going through, this, that, and the other. it's probably not a bad idea. If I was Joe, I wouldn't be sad going to Arizona, to play that football team. If I'm going to miss one, if I'm going to miss a game, this is the damn one I'm going to miss. Kyler, what do you call him? An alien, right?
Yeah, he is in the alien. He's in the conversation.
Oh, he's just in the conversation?
Well, I mean, last year he had glimpses of it. Like Lamar Jackson, alien. Okay, because every time last year there was glimpses of it. Now I guess 7 games in at this point, we can.
He is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
that throw he made to AJ Green.
Off balance, foot spread, boom, 56 yards or something like that in a bucket. AJ Green catches it and just walks out of bounds. There was 3 people around him. It's like Kyler Murray is on a different planet. Yeah, so he is an alien. Yeah, Kyler Murray is official. Congrats, Kyler.
Congrats, Kyler. Good work.
He is being officially dubbed an alien by our show. Is there, whenever you have a team, for instance, the power rankings came out today, Chuck, and the Buffalo Bills were at 1, then they were at 2, they lose, they stay at 3 or whatever, 4, they come out of a bye week. What do you think the message is from McDermott there for that team? Just, hey, we need to get back on track. They lose to the Titans, right? And then they go into a bye week, and the Titans are a team that is not being talked about by anybody. I think they deserve a little bit more credit for the team they are. But coming out of a bye week with a team like the Bills, what do you expect that McDermott said? What do you think they work on, and how do you think they look going forward?
Yeah, I don't think Sean had to say much, to be honest with you. I mean, that's a veteran coach. He's been with that team a long time now. They know what to expect, from him and what he expects from that football team. They still got Josh Allen, who I think is, maybe top 3, maybe the top player in the National Football League right now. I mean, that kid is phenomenal, and they got a great defense. They had a bad outing against King Henry and the Titans, and yeah, the Titans should be feel a little bit disrespected because Buffalo's still in that top tier. I think they're still in the top 5 in the power rankings. Usually you go out of it, but I think what they're looking at is hey, look, they've been together long enough. They looked at that film. They made the corrections. They fixed what they need to fix, and it's easy fixes. It isn't major. I mean, a guy just get off that block. Defending Henry, if he just tear off that block and make that tackle and get him on the ground, 8 yards is one thing, 72 is another, and all those kind of things. So it's not time to hit the panic button. Shoot, they got beat in week 1 by the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
Right? And then everybody's like, oh, crap. But no, that's a damn good football team with a ton of great players and a great quarterback and a great coach in McDermott and Leslie Frazier and Dable. I mean, they got a freaking staff. They got everything. That's a wagon up there.
That is a wagon up there.
Bill's Mafia. So I don't think, to answer your question, he didn't have to say much. They just can't wait. I can't imagine going 2 weeks though, having the bye after a loss like that. That's hard. That's hard.
Great
and they're going to be chomping at the bit to get back on the field. I guarantee you that.
Hey, Chuck, what happens tomorrow night? Green Bay travels out to play the Cardinals. Devontae's out. Lazard is out. Does this somehow almost free the Packers up? Because it's like, all right, hey, expectations aren't too high for us to win this one with these guys out and our D coordinator not on the sidelines.
Absolutely. Again, you're going to play with house money. This seems like an easy one for the bettors and everybody that likes to do that stuff, to jump all over Arizona. It's a short week. You're out your signal caller on defense. You're out the offensive personnel that you're talking about, Lazard and the best wide receiver in the game. But you still got Aaron. You still have a bunch of good players. You got a defense that's flying around, opportunistic, making plays. Scary. And I don't know what that does to Cliff Kingsbury and his Cardinal outfit. I think that group's flying high as well. But don't just think you're going to roll the ball out. You can just show up at the stadium and lace up your cleats, and this is going to be an easy one. Not certainly with Aaron Rodgers, the reigning MVP of the National Football League, coming to town.
Yeah, he's pretty good at football. I mean, you said Josh Allen was better than him, and I guess that is something we'll have to talk about on future Coaches Up Chuck Wednesdays. But Aaron Rodgers is getting, for the people that like gambling, which would be us, Chuck, not you. If you're getting 7 points with Aaron Rodgers, that is going to be tough to say no. I guess Arizona could potentially buzzsaw, but Aaron with the points Thursday night is going to be amazing no matter who's missing, just like every single Coaches Up Chuck Wednesday segment. We appreciate you live in Boulder. Tell the entire family, all the generations of Paisans, we said hello over there.
Hey, I said maybe top 3. He's not better than Aaron. Okay, let's be perfect.
Yeah, you ran it back.
A little bit.
You did a little bit.
A little bit.
I love you guys. Take care, man.
Hey, you too, ladies and gentlemen. Chuck Pagano. Thank you, Coach Pagano. He did, because at the beginning he said top 3
Top
players,
3, yeah.
maybe best player in football or whatever.
Yes, he did.
I was like, well, okay. Well, hey, by the way, there's cause for that conversation.
Josh Allen's very good.
With how Josh Allen has played, with how he has grown. I mean, last year he was in the MVP conversation. Well, he said, bro, I mean, Aaron's still playing football. Let's make sure we remember that. Aaron would go on to win the MVP. He would get 35 seconds in the NFL Honor Show to say thank you in a video that was on a Zoom.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Russell got 2 minutes.
In a full stadium.
In a full stadium.
Which he deserved it, by the way. Russell, good guy. But the MVP, Aaron's still playing football. Josh Allen, though, you would have to be absolutely thrilled if you're a Bills fan to know that you got a guy for the next 10 years probably that's going to be perfect for Buffalo. We got to get to a break, and then we'll wrap up this beautiful Coach Us Up Chuck Wednesday. Can't thank Chuck Pagano enough for joining us. Chuck Berry as well. AJ Hawk and all the boys. Can't wait for your phone calls on the other side on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. 1-833-4-McAfee. Hopefully the guy that had a question for your chin is on. I can't wait to hear that question. And hopefully these add to the show. Hey,
we'll see.
How you doing? Keep it moving. Let's get on the show. Let's close out this beautiful Wednesday in a fantastic fashion. We'll see you in 4 minutes. How are ya? I'm Roman, a men's health brand that can dance very well and make you the best you possible. Are you suffering from male pattern baldness? Dahn, we got something for that. Herpes. See ya. Premature ejaculation, gone. No more coming too quick. Allergies as well. And that's not all. We have clinically tested supplements for everything, including erectile dysfunction. Come on! Bye-bye! GetRoman.com/Pat. Be the best you possible.
I never told you this. I got an unbelievable rap sheet of guys I almost hit with my car. And like I literally almost
Wait, I thought you were gonna say on the ice. I thought you were gonna say you hit Wayne
on
the ice.
What the fuck are you doing? I shit you not. And where I'm from, in Midwest, Cleveland, when I grew up, the crosswalks, man, when you're a pedestrian, you look out for cars. In New Jersey and New York, no. Like people just come out and the cars have to look out for people, right? That was an adjustment for me. So I'm going, and all of a sudden, there's this dude in the crosswalk. And I Johnny Oduya goes, whoa, and I slam the brakes on. I'm not kidding you guys, this far away. I look, this guy's got his hat on, a backpack over his shoulder, and he goes like this. He goes, and waves to me. And we both lean forward, and Johnny goes, and I look at it, and I go, is that fucking Eli Manning? And he's like, it is. I almost trucked Eli. And that's the year the Giants, that's the year the Giants won the Super Bowl. So thank you you're welcome, I guess, to Giant fans out. And then 2 years before that, I was in Columbus playing for the Blue Jackets. I was taking my kids to a circus that was at the Nationwide Arena. And they got the practice arena inside it. And I'm late. I'm ripping around this parking garage. You know how you do that, going up and up and up. I come around this corner, slam the brakes on. I almost hit Wayne. Barry Smith, Wayne Gretzky, like a foot away from both of them. Almost truck them again. You guys are not gonna believe me. I'm playing for the Rangers. Okay, this was in 2012.
What the fuck are you doing, Ruffer?
At the practice rink. At the practice rink for the New York Rangers, we shared with the New York Knicks. I'm late for practice. I don't want Torts to give me shit, so I'm flying in. The gate opens. I punch the code. The gate opens. I'm flying down the parking spot. Turn a corner. Almost hit Rasheed Wallace. And he gave me the hairy eyeball, and we gave each other stare down like we might go in the parking lot right now. Like it was awkward.
Hey, I assume you're somewhat of a local hero in the New York, New Jersey area because of the Stanley Cup goal and everything with the Devils, and you had some years with the Rangers. You threw some fists there. You were a heart and soul kind of guy. You hit Eli Manning in a crosswalk. you're dead. They're gonna string you up in the street.
But how about if I hit one of them and I grazed another, then people are like, this fucking guy's targeting superstar. Like, you know what I mean?
Fucking
Like,
AJ Hawk on the fucking road, Ruffer. Jesus.
That's why when we celebrate, we hardly ever sober. Wouldn't trade it for the world. That's just how I feel. When you hear them drunken thoughts, then you know it's real.
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Welcome back to that show. You know the story by now. It's football season, and that means it's time to get comfortable with your Bird Dogs joggers.
Hell yeah.
That's right. The most comfortable shorts ever made are now available in joggers as well. Foxy, you just tweeted about these this weekend, actually.
Love these so much. I'm a jeans guy through and through until I got my Bird Dogs jogger. I will actually wear joggers out in public now because of Bird Dogs.
Really?
That's a real thing. I wear jeans everywhere.
You could dress them up. You could wear them around the house. You could work out in them. Everybody knows the story. They took Lululemon's designer and just did it better with built-in underwear that makes the uncomfortable underwear obsolete.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Trying to rip that thing apart?
They're stretchy. You gotta see it.
Yeah, the Bird Dogs joggers come in khaki, navy, and black. That's the navy version there. These things are moving quick, so get in on it now. Go to birddogs.com, enter promo code PATSBALL, and they'll throw in a free Bird Dogs whistle tip football, obviously, with your order. That's birddogs.com, birddogs.com, promo code PATSBALL, no spaces in between there, and boom! A free Bird Dogs whistle tip football alongside your most comfortable pair of pants ever, the joggers from Bird Dogs. You will not take these things off, we promise you. And you get a whistle tip football. What? Oh, that thing's still howling because it is incredibly well built. And you get that for free when you use promo code PATSBALLS. Ball at birddogs.com.
Oh.
No whistle there, but that was a great touch by Tony Diggs, who was once a great quarterback.
What, Tony?
Yeah, he was a good football player, good backyard football player. Now he runs around, breaks his foot on rocks.
QB.
Welcome back to the show. AJ, do you have any of these Bird Dog joggers?
I do. I don't have the joggers. I have the shorts. I'm looking forward to getting some of the joggers.
The shorts are unbelievable. I work out in them. They are great for around the house. You can wear them in the public. They do, look good in certain situations, golfing and everything like that. But the joggers got to get a size up. Got to get a size up from what you would normally get. Just a heads up for, those potential fat bottom dudes.
Mm-hmm. But, so what's Jet Passing got to get then? 3 sizes up?
So he's 5'9". He said 165.
170.
So he is kind of like a Siciliano roughly, and he dunked on Gump so hard. Oh my God.
He had something for everything. Like everything Gump had. Like Jet already was locked and loaded.
Yeah, the Jet was on the runway at all times. And, that's what Jet does. He does some self-scouting.
Oh, yeah.
What could somebody potentially come after me for? Oh, the block pants I've been wearing. And then he's like, well, got to have space for the heat or whatever. It's like, oh, Jet with the quick wits to outwit the Grumpaw. Gumpy, what happened there? Are we ever going to get over this? Is it over now, you think, between you two?
Nah.
Yeah, you hate him?
Yeah, I don't like him. I've never liked him. He dunks on his own game all the time. Like, that's your game. You love baseball. Maybe pump it up.
Oh, and I think he wants to see it get better so that more people can like it maybe. But Gumpy, as an avid baseball fan, I can understand your maybe distress with the entire thing. You too, Ty. But I like the way Jet talks about the sport. That he's
real. He seems real about it. Like he can laugh when you give your opinion, and he doesn't sit there and get all butthurt about it.
Well, speaking of people getting upset about it, there's a lot of people on the internet that are upset that with the number one MLB insider on the show, I'm disrespecting a beautiful game of baseball.
What? Okay. How are you disrespecting? You're trying to make it better.
Well, and I'm also talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show it actually a little bit of respect. I didn't
Can't
want
make them all happy. Man.
I didn't want it to even be on the show. I
mean, who cares? Baseball's not for everyone. You don't see me over here pouting when that's
people are
just
coming
the way it
after me
is.
for disrespecting the game. I want to let you know. You are part of the reason why baseball stinks too.
Boom.
All right, let's get to the phones.
Yes.
Yeah. What if I did this whenever I wrestled? I said the internet wrestling community, okay, which is a batch of people. I cut promos directly to them. Like, it was awesome. I was able to be a heel, was still having our fans from our show. I was still able to get along with people. It was just this one particular group I was talking about. And everything I said was 100% true, that I was speaking to those people. That is kind of what I can do with baseball, I think. And every time I say the truth about baseball thinking, I'm not talking to people who are like me that don't like the sport of baseball. I am strictly talking to you people that do like baseball. So I'm happy we're on the same page, that you now view me as maybe an enemy of you. I am. And you are an enemy to me, because there's another sport out there that you could watch that is much better than the sport you commit your entire life to. That's going to stop playing, by the way, in about a few months.
Yeah, I mean, or you could just say, oh, who cares?
Well, I could say that, but I don't say that ever.
No, I'm saying those people could say that. Like, when someone's shitting on baseball, you could just be like, oh, who cares?
Yeah,
World Series going on right
baseball
now.
at the World Series, this is the best time. So I'm actually excited about it. I will watch it if they move that game up. And I know we sounded very much like East Coast bias folks. Well, I hate to break there. We all live on the East Coast.
Yep.
I would assume the left coast is very happy with the timing of baseball, potentially. That game started at 5 the local time, ended 2 a.m. local time. So I think that is something they enjoy. But those 9:54 was the third inning. How is that even possible?
There's no way that game shouldn't have started at like 6:07, 6:30. Like, I get, West Coast, sure, but you're still, the game's ending at 8 o'clock then. Like, so what's the difference? Then you still got the rest of your night.
What is it? Is it the timing in between pitches? A lot of people are saying pitchers need to be on a shot clock.
AAA runs they test that out in the lower leagues. They do have that. It's everything. I mean, it's fucking.
And if we're talking about the West Coast, Atlanta is on the East Coast. Like, shouldn't that be?
Well, yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, as we were bitching about the time, I heard everybody on the West Coast being like, oh, listen to these guys. That's what I actually heard them. I heard them saying that as we were bitching about it, but it just doesn't seem to make the most. 9:44 p.m., third inning. What? We're in the first trimester of this thing.
That's late. That's late. And school night, too. Like, no one's staying up to watch that.
Let's hit some phones.
Trick or treat's coming up, too.
Yeah, I got to gear up for that.
Hey, do you go trick-or-treating? No way. You go. I might be a baseball sharp. Baseball sharp. Baseball sharp. I might be a sharp. I bet on the Yankees earlier, and I lost all my money earlier, but now I'm hot on the Braves. I turned on the game 9:44 or whatever, and I seen that they had the lead, and I was like, all right,
got to do it.
Good game.
I think actually it was before I even turned on the game. I saw they had a 1-0 lead, and I heard Gumpy earlier in the day say taking the Braves because it's a revenge game for old Chuck Minter or something like that.
Game.
Yeah, that guy. So
great.
I felt good about it. I'm hot in baseball, so if you guys need any baseball bets, fucking just ask me, dude.
Okay.
Who do you like next game?
Tonight
they're playing. Oh, man, it's going to be tough to bounce back. The Astros get a win here tonight.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like Urquidy on the bump.
Well, when I see old Skeety on the bump, I think of a guy who is willing to dive deep into his bag of junk to get any win done. And when that guy has that, because he does have the heat.
He throws.
He is a World Series ace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But once he goes ahead and snaps that thing off noon to 6, that ball leaves the strike zone when it looks like it's coming at your fucking head. So with Skeety pitching, I got it. Yeah. I might put 2 units on the. I might put 2 units on the Astros. Yeah, a couple units, dude.
Multi-unit play.
Hey, what's the pearl necklace situation? What are they talking about?
I do not know, and I did not like where that conversation was headed.
Yeah.
Jock Peterson,
Young Jock.
literally wears how players wear giant chains and shit like that. He's currently wearing just giant pearl necklace.
Well, and there was also people in the past in baseball that have worn like Lucky Charms, I think. Because baseball.
Well, is it like a balance thing? Remember, like there's that company that got sued, but they wear the necklaces. It's called Fightin'. I wore them for a little while.
I had
baseball
those,
players were wearing them for a while.
Oh, and the bracelets, remember?
Yeah, from the like magnets, all the fake.
They got sued?
The copper.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a story behind the pearls and how we got here, but if he's hitting the ball well and they're going to win the World Series, he's probably going to keep that on the rest of his career.
Yeah, he was hammering a glass of wine in the outfield after they won the championship series in the National League.
Like smack the bag?
No, like I had like a nice wine glass, like a big old glass of wine.
Slapping the bag would have been sweet.
Yeah, if he slapped a bag out there after going into the World Series, that's awesome. I'd be like, all right, young Jock knows what he's doing. But instead, he's just, checking out the legs.
Yeah, sommelier.
Of course.
Is this in tin? Is this a barrel, wooden barrel, oak, aluminum?
Have you ever gone to Napa?
I have. I'm sophisticated. Thank you very much.
Oh, you've done like the wine tour stuff?
Yeah, none of them tasted any fucking different to me.
I did it like 10 years ago. I guess it got me intrigued by wine a little bit on how it's made and all that, but I was into it for a little bit and I can't.
Yeah, normally I can like buy into something that's being sold, and I did buy Paisan that made The Godfather.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Coppola. Yeah, I went to Coppola's castle up there, like Warriors. And when I went in there, he had a couple wines. There was one that was clearly much better than the other ones. It's like $800 a bottle or something.
Good God.
Yeah, so that was the only wine that I realized was better than everybody else's. And then it was 2 glasses were worth $800. I'm like, okay, this stinks. Get me out of here. I'm drunk by 4 o'clock every day because that's what those wine tours are. You just get hammered from like 10 a.m., 10:30 till about 3:34. The roads are small. You got to drive around. Then you get back in a house that you probably rent. I mean, it is a great
blue
time.
Or your purple stained teeth and tongue.
Yeah, and then you act like you're smarter than you actually are at night. I enjoyed trying that, whatever the fuck. Yeah, you didn't. You didn't. You're just drunk, hammering things. And I was housing them, too. When they bring out those flights, it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. You got to ask them. Hey, man, give me. I saw you poured that person over there is 5'2", 210 pounds. Give me a heavy pour, please.
Whoa.
You got to tell them.
Yeah, not only the heavy pour, but also, like, what separates this one from the other 15 that I've just tried within the last 20 minutes?
Oh, they'll tell you. They'll tell you for an hour and a half if you listen.
Yeah, and I am a listener.
I can't do it.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Sounded like a bunch of bullshit to me, but I did get drunk during the day, which is pretty cool, and it's beautiful out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, nice weather.
It is beautiful. The weather's nice. The views are nice. It's almost like you're in Europe. Feels like you're in Europe. It's much different than, what we normally see. But
got the hills and stuff.
I'm not small. Yeah, the hills and then the rolling fields because they got a bunch it's awesome.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet. But you're too drunk normally to see it all. Kind of doing one of these. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Tell
of
you
course.
What, I got a nice Dago right at that house. I'll fucking bring it for you.
I'll tell you what. I don't think you're allowed to say what you just said.
I don't think you can do it.
Why did he just do what he just did? On Coaches Up, Chuck Pagano Wednesday, you just did that?
I'm allowed to say that.
Me too then, right?
Checks out. Nope. There's a certain degree.
I don't think you could.
I think
certain
I
degree
can.
you got to meet.
Am I allowed to say this?
I wouldn't.
I thought we all could say it.
I spit in that thing.
Oh, yeah.
It told me I am allowed to say what you
I
just
think
said.
you're a little below the threshold of what's allowed to say that.
Oh, so now everybody has their own line of when I'm allowed to say things.
Interesting.
Let's get to the 5 Hour Energy phone line. You guys need. I'm gonna do a little bit more research on what the percentage is because I thought if there was
You
just
gotta be
one
majority.
drop. I thought it was just one drop of blood.
Majority?
What is this all about?
Yeah, what are some of those other percentages you got?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not 100% Italian, okay? never
To me.
never claimed to be. But I just didn't know I didn't know if we were allowed to say things.
Little
like
Irish, obviously some Scottish. What else is
You just got to be majority.
a little German in there, a little German in there.
Uh-huh.
I'm just know that there's Italian in there. So if I start talking about which way
You lean.
they go,
Uh-huh.
I think I should be allowed to potentially say that. We'll put it under review. I guess I'll call Coach Diggs.
You can say it.
What if I join the Italian club back in Plum?
Yeah.
What if do I get a shirt? Am I allowed to say these things?
I don't know if the Italian club's going to let her McAfee walk in.
Oh, jeez.
Italians and Germans are friends.
No. Whoa. Listen,
Hey.
I do not agree with any of those decisions. I am Irish when it comes.
Me too.
When it comes to that situation.
So you
Irish
can't-
Scottish.
Can't do that. And then
Yeah, I can.
What do you mean?
That is right. 23 of me told me I am allowed to do that.
Yes.
which one?
All of them.
Yeah, flip top.
All 23 of them.
All 20. Yeah.
There's a fence.
And me. Anyways, I will never say that. I may have said that one time. And
What happened?
The group of Italians did not know that I got the G pass.
You got the card.
Yeah, sure.
They potentially didn't know that, and it became awkward, and we had to leave the premise of that
Was
place.
that the potato patch?
Nope, that was another story. I ran into a lot of Italian. That's why whenever it did come back, that there's a lot of apologies to myself.
Yeah.
No, I apologize to myself
Oh.
for some of the things that I had said.
Sure.
Potentially growing up as the only non-Italian in a group of Italians. There is some breaking news before we get out of here. Sirius XM Channel 82, Ian Rappaport is reporting that QB Tyrod Taylor has officially returned to practice, opening his 21-day window. He is on IR with a hamstring injury. I have no idea what that means.
Yes. Worded very weirdly. I think he's just back.
If Ian Rappaport would have done this from the lobby before we talked to him, we would have asked him what this means. But him being in his 21-day window, does that
I think
mean
he meant he was on IR, right?
So
They put 3 weeks to activate him.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
There it
thank
is.
you. There it is. 3
He
weeks.
I mean, he could activate right now, like tomorrow, but they have a 3-week window where they could shut him down for the year, I guess.
So they have the Rams this weekend. Okay, so they have the Rams this weekend, which is a tough game. I don't know if that's when Tyrod Taylor is going to be put back on the field instead of old Dougie Mills, but Tyrod Taylor made that team worth watching and also, I think, a lot more competitive. Tyrod Taylor, a guy that we have said for a long, long time, maybe the most unlucky career in the history of the NFL while being a great quarterback. Came on our show, was fantastic. He still owes me 20 public push-ups.
That's right.
But hopefully he'll be able to get back on the field for the Fighting Daves.
Yeah, Fighting Dave did say that Davis Mills will still get first-team reps today.
Okay, so Dougie Mills still the starter for the Houston Texans as Tyrod Taylor works his way back from injury. Never would have guessed we'd talk baseball and Houston Texans, but here we are, a legit sports show. Not as legit as Chris Mad Dog Rizzo, who I believe is live from the World Series,
Nice.
AJ. Anything to say to the Mad Dog listeners that with their show being much better than ours, obviously?
Mad Dog, big baseball show. I think he'll be great today.
He was live in Minute Maid Park yesterday. I assume he's doing the same today. That would have been a nice little piece of information.
His voice echoing of all the bleachers.
Bingo. And that's what he does. He does great things. He's in 6 minutes. We'll see you tomorrow.
Nice.
I think I missed it.
I don't know.
I definitely missed it. We'll see you
Buzzer
tomorrow.
beater.
Maybe just tomorrow.
We'll see you, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
So what if we never see him again?
Oh, no.
And by the way, they're on radio. We never see him.
Yeah, they don't see it.
True.
So hear us tomorrow is what I should start saying.
Yeah.
That Sirius deal is interesting. AJ.
Why is that?
Because they license our show, right? So they license a YouTube show. No saying anything. We just send it on over. We have a good relationship, I think. The only time we really hear from them is when something's going on. It's a interesting deal. And, as I'm shaking hands, in these Zoom calls, doing things, making, incredible moves in negotiations. It will not, it will not be able to be public, all of the everything that happened, but I am incredibly proud of how this whole thing was. It did affect me a little bit, I think, on day-to-day, on show-wise, and how I was as a human, but not a lot of people get a chance to, host the show and also decide what the future of the show is. It just isn't something that happens in the modern world, so I was very, very excited about that. As these conversations were taking turns in ways that I kind of thought they were going to go, I did reach out to Sirius. I was like, hey, our deal, only through this season, basically, then a little bit in off season. This is what I'm thinking is potentially going to happen. And they told me basically, good luck, call us back later or whatever. So I don't know. It was a positive interaction, but it was like, hey, if you got that going on, go ahead and figure that out, and then we'll talk to you afterwards. So now that is figured out, is it time now to step back into the Thunderdome with Sirius? Do we extend that? Do we keep it going? Do we not have it just on Sirius? Because there's no exclusive deal there with Sirius. We could put it somewhere else. It would be nice to continue to remain on Sirius.
Like, where else could you put it, though?
Wherever. Like, if Spotify wanted to potentially have a conversation about our audio-only deal.
Does Spotify have live shows, though?
So they don't have live shows, but they have introed video component to the podcast as well on their platform. It's going to take years and years and years to catch up to YouTube. We just, with the conversation about the audio stuff, if we do another deal with Sirius, I don't want people to think like we're exclusive with Sirius, if that makes sense. But I do enjoy our relationship with Sirius because I think there are people that listen on Sirius, I'm not sure. But that's like the stuff that is very fascinating, through the whole, what are we going to do next? I have no idea.
Is there anybody else on Sirius where Sirius just licensed a show that somebody does somewhere else?
No, that is also live on YouTube at the same time? No, I don't think so.
No way. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you step back in the Thunderdome with Sirius. I think you step in the Thunderdome with the other people, like Spotify.
See, but if you do that, then you have the platform thing, and it's kind of giving away what our announcement is not. The platform exclusivity thing is a tricky thing. Because like Rogan, and I said this in the Instagram post, I've been able to watch a lot of people have to kind of figure it out. So I don't want to say there's a blueprint to what we're doing, but I've seen a lot of people kind of in what the fallout has been via decisions that have been made with their shows, and whether it's a platform exclusive or is it this company buys into it and you give up a percentage and you license your company or whatever the case is. I think when Rogan went to Spotify, Rogan's so goddamn big.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter. But I think there was a little bit of people that were pissed off that he was potentially taken off of other platforms that they were so used to and they loved. And Rogan, so people are going to find Rogan. People are going to watch Rogan no matter what. People are going to listen to Rogan. But it was interesting watching the fallout of like, okay, platform exclusive deals might not be necessarily the most efficient customer, move.
You go behind a paywall. Like, you got to pay for Spotify too, right?
Yeah, do you?
Yep.
Is there a free
Premium.
version that has ads? There's not, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Premium,
Yeah.
I believe, does not have ads because you pay extra for
Right.
that.
But there's basic ass Spotify that's free, or you got to pay for basic ass Spotify?
No, it's free.
And then Spotify.
No.
I thought they were
I
both.
I do not pay for Spotify.
There is a free
and,
version, but it's Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
So there is a version of it, I guess, that's in there. But a lot of people love YouTube, right?
Yeah,
love
now
YouTube.
you can only put so many minute clips up on YouTube, right?
Yeah, and the access to it is how is it, because every smart TV has YouTube sitting on it right there, and then some things don't. It's just those types of decisions are all fascinating as well, and that's, I don't ever want to become, I don't think, we're nowhere near the size or the maturity of a show. We're way too early to be a one platform exclusive place. Unless somebody just wants to make a hilarious offer.
Well, that's the thing.
And then we got to do what we got to do.
Up to them.
And then we got to do what we got to do.
To your point, though, it is nice to sit back and watch everyone navigate these waters. It's like Squid Game going across those glass panels. You're watching everyone near the back of the line. Going, hey,
Yeah,
hey,
and
don't,
then-
all right, don't go that way.
Yeah. By the way, what was it? Left,
Sounds like Frogger.
right, left, right, left, right. I think I was trying to remember it because they showed it one time. That is something that my brain does do well. So they showed it they had an aerial shot on that.
Yeah.
Before the last
and
one.
when the person was moving the thing. So I was trying to pick up what the pattern was because I was, because you try to put yourself in that position. It's like, would you have any clue on what it would be? You would just have to go fast, right? That one you would just have to go fast.
I like that one guy's method of just sprinting across. And I mean, ultimately.
I mean, it didn't work. But if you were one, you had no chance.
I thought you could do both. One leg on
Close
both.
enough.
Yeah.
You would have to have incredible singular leg strength. That would be a one-legged squat every single time.
Yeah.
Well, and even so, if you step on the wrong one with that leg, then you're going that
Yeah.
way anyway.
Hopscotch it, 2 at a time.
Oh, so you're just using whichever leg stays.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
You dog.
I don't know if that would have worked.
I don't think.
I don't know either.
I don't know if that would have worked.
I don't know either. You have
Get
to
a
be
CrossFit.
very
Sounds like
quick.
a CrossFitter thing.
But also, would the
Did you
whole,
watch Squid Game?
I have not watched it yet.
Would the whole panel break?
190 million people watched it. That's an actual
How
stat.
do we
At
know?
least.
100 and... You're
Netflix.
right. That's another thing.
Netflix
Whoa.
doesn't give numbers to any of their people.
Okay, so that's a whole nother thing with these platforms, with numbers and everything like that, and how people are cooking numbers and how you can present numbers. That's been a lot of fun in these old things here, in these conversations where, well, what are your numbers? Well, which numbers? Okay. Is it the podcast? Is it the live? Is it the VOD? Is it the social media numbers? Is it Twitter numbers? Is it Instagram story numbers? Is it Instagram numbers? Is it just downloads? Is it downloads and streams? What is it? What are the numbers? And then the people are like, oh, we just want to see your numbers. It's like, okay, what I'm trying to tell you is most of the numbers you probably hear are bullshit. I hate to break to you. You probably spend a lot of money on a lot of numbers, but a lot of the numbers you're probably being told are bullshit. I think it's just, you kind of got to do your own research on who moves and who doesn't. Who actually has a show, who doesn't. I think that is something you should figure out. But here are some of our numbers. Yeah, 1 billion impressions. Yeah, that is an actual thing that happened. Yeah. Wow, these are alarming numbers. Okay. All right, so you wanted the numbers. Okay, now I give you the numbers. These are alarming numbers. I'm done wasting my time with you. Have a good day. It is a fascinating thing dealing with me in these negotiations, I would bet. I would assume these people have no idea how it's going, what it's going. I'm showing up in jorts and a tank top and sleeveless in these things. Nah, I ain't got time for it. Have a good one. It's awesome. It is beautiful, and it might all backfire, but I know we got at least one thing done with it. Boys are going to eat for some time, which is fantastic.
Well, I'm sure it's pretty unique for them on their side as well, dealing with you and your situation and who you are.
Yeah, because normally they talk to representatives, right? They talk to representatives, so
Yeah.
you can say
Agents.
whatever you want.
Yeah,
You can
clients.
say whatever you want about whatever, and then the agents have to kind of take that and present it and the whole thing. Now they're talking directly to me. It's like, all right, hey, I fucking think I heard you said some things. What is it? Let me hear what you got to say. It's fascinating, and that's that's been real growth for me, I think. Real growth for me as a 34-year-old stooge dealing with these corporate suits. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. But I could not do this much longer. I'm about done with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're pretty good at it.
I know.
From what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
It is a full-time job.
It's
very,
a lot.
Very stressful.
That's why most people have representation, because
I
it's
know.
a full-time job.
And then if you miss a text with somebody, like for instance, I'll get a text right before we go live from somebody. Hey, any chance we could follow up this afternoon? There's been a couple times where I guess like AJ says, did I stop at that red light? It's like, did I text that person back that is very, very vital to my life? Do I want to do this right now, or do I want to? Yeah, I guess
it's good though. It's good for you. It just drives your price up though if you don't get back.
Well, I guess at this stage we can do that. It was not like that for a long time. It was not, hey, you better answer this or you got no shot. Now it's, I'll send a text. But everybody's been kind of cool. There's been a couple.
The old deal though. Like if you don't need it, if you don't need the gig, that's usually when you get the gig. Like they say actors that are desperate and really want it and going to auditions, they don't get the gigs. But actors that finally give up, I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Then all of a sudden they get like an Academy Award-winning role.
Yeah, valid. Hey, very valid point right there. Very, very valid. That was a guy from The Office?
Yeah, he was about to give up acting, and then he got
really? Now he's an action superstar.
Yeah, now he's a superstar.
And a big-time director as well.
Yeah.
Really?
For what? Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm. Making another one.
The nerd from Office Space is an action star and a movie man?
The Office.
Huh?
No, not Office Space. You're thinking of Milton, the guy with the stapler from Red
From
Stapler.
Dodgeball.
Right. That's the show. I don't know if I got it right or not. I have no idea, but I'm excited to be here.
You nailed it.
We should do some of these phone calls here real quick, though. We should do some of these phone calls.
Yeah,
these
do a
people have
couple.
been waiting online. I have said that I would be answering these calls for a couple hours. Nick does not want me to do it. I was going to get out of here and maybe run to the bathroom because we powered through a couple breaks. But the people who call into this show deserve the respect to get a chance to air their grievances and their ideas. Ask their questions, do their things, add to the presentation of this show. Ain't that right, AJ Hawk?
Yeah, hopefully they go soft on Gump and they don't just pile on.
All right,
Okay.
Gumpy did get dunked on by a 5'9" man who covers baseball today, and we will not have any of those more conversations happening on these phone lines right here.
Really.
Let's go to Douglas in Oklahoma. Douglas, what's going on, pal?
Hey, boys, how you doing?
Keep it moving.
So I wanted to talk
Nailed
to you
it!
guys about Rich
show.
Bisaccia leading the Raiders 2-0 since he's taken over. Do you think it's about time we start thinking the Raiders are for real in the AFC West?
That's a fascinating question, Douglas, because the Raiders have always won games that you never think they would win. Now you got Richie Bisaccia coaching. It seems like there is a new energy in the building. Anytime there is an absence of leadership or a person of power is turned over, there is always a rekindling of having to prove yourself to people. So sometimes you can almost become a better operation whenever you get rid of somebody in power because of everybody else kind of being reignited, re-inspired, kind of back in this whole thing. It almost feels like that is what the Raiders are. Josh Jacobs has said the sideline is much better. Rich Bisaccia, the interim head coach for the Raiders, said, I'm having the time of my life. The only priorities in his life, my wife, my children, and those players that I look like children. How's your family? How's your children? How's your players? Everything's good for Richie Bisaccia. But once again, that AFC West is a nightmare. The Chargers are a problem. The Broncos, seems like they potentially stink. I don't know. And the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes tweeted, hey, I'm back this weekend. I am excited to play. This comes after a video which seemed to be taken at a Mexican restaurant of his wife and Jackson Mahomes dancing and him in the background looking absolutely disinterested in whatever they have going on. Patrick Mahomes is back this weekend. I hope he will do that. But I love that the Raiders are having success in Vegas under Paisan Rich.
Well, I have not seen that video. If someone has it, it'd be fun to watch that.
it's not
But I
good.
think also when you talk about Rich Bisaccia and the team, not only are the players like re-energized to kind of prove themselves again, get this new juice in the facility, I think the assistant coaches are too. They know, like, hey, chances are there's a great chance that everybody gets fired and we're out of here and I got to find a place to work next year. I need to find another job. But so they're sitting there like, all right, let's keep old Coach Richie in here. If we win enough, let's create a big groundswell of support and we're all going to be back here next year.
Yeah, if we do well, this is our guy. Everything's going to remain intact. Now they have to figure out Derek Carr, right? Is Derek Carr going to be the guy going forward? I don't think Derek Carr is thinking about that. He's just trying to do it this year. But it would be an incredible story if somehow Mark Davis is Raiders. the man who sat down this morning with media on a tall back chair with a backpack still over his starter bomber jacket with an incredibly clean haircut, answering questions about an investigation that Congress has gotten involved in. If his Raiders team can win from this, it'll be an amazing story to tell about a team rallying together, a bunker mentality type thing, and becoming better on the other side.
And like with Derek Carr, you would think that the offense would fall off a little bit because Gruden is the play caller, but I think he was like 31 of 34 on Sunday. Like if he continues to play that well, then you kind of have to keep him around.
Let's go back to the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Go to 5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee to get 10% off your order. Let's go to Ricky in Central Florida. What's going on, Ricky?
Hey, Pat, AJ, boys, how we doing?
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Hey, before my statement real quick, I just want to correct something from Monday's show. I was given the ESPN treatment. My name is Ricky Nip, not Knip. So I think Ty led you astray there. You got it right first, though.
Oh, the overreaction Monday. Great tweet. Great tweet.
Went to school with a kid who spelled it the same way. It's pronounced
No,
Knip.
it's Knip.
Yeah, it is. Hey, by the way, Ricky, I don't know if you know this, but the rest
Sorry,
of your
pal.
family, if you do 23andMe, they'll be able to tell you who your family is. I think a lot of them potentially pronounce it Knip.
Yeah.
But down in Florida, it could be different. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I'm happy.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
thanks. Calling from Florida, born and raised from Ohio, though, OH.
I-O.
Nip.
Thank you.
K is silent, Pat.
Jesus, AJ.
Yeah, and the
Okay,
I-Os
Pat.
have been silenced from you a lot when I say OH.
Yeah, to you.
No, I went to your little cult party, dude.
Did.
You did, and I gave you one.
You did. You know, nobody's talking
But,
about Ohio State being worth a fuck anymore. Football.
Big game
They look
this
pretty
weekend.
good, man.
They do.
Yeah.
They did. Are
Go
they
blue.
Go blue. All right.
Whoa. Go green.
I love Nip, huh? K
From Ohio, Michigan fan, though.
and then you pronounce your name different, too.
Part of Ohio.
I'm from Mansfield, so it's an hour above Columbus. You've only heard of us if you, we have a lot of heroin addicts, or we have the prison where Shawshank Redemption was filmed. That's about it.
And there's also, I think there's a racetrack there as well.
Sick.
That is on my street, yep.
Yeah, so I know more about
Live
your
right next to
town
it.
than you, Knip. But what do you want to talk about, Ricky?
Hey, I just want to speak on behalf of all Bengals fans out here. I think we're kind of sick of being labeled as a bad franchise just because of a small market team and our owner is pretty much Mr. Krabs. But
All right. Good call by Ricky.
Yeah, 7 games will change everything.
What?
What, you win a couple games and all of a sudden you're not a bad franchise anymore?
You think Joey Burrow's going to be playing for a bad franchise going forward? I don't think so, pal.
What do you mean?
Aren't they a good team that is a bad franchise?
Yeah, I guess both things can be true.
even
Terrible
more
franchise.
impressive.
Yeah, and it is. That means the team, the coaches, the players are really battling through. And I think Chuck kind of alluded to that. He was like, coaching staff had to scout because they didn't even have a scouting department for so long. And Mr. Brown, who he said is a wonderful guy, I've never met him, he wears the same clothes every single day. He won't even spend money on himself, let alone spending money on the team. Luke Fickell, though, is in the middle of getting a new indoor practice facility for the University of Cincinnati. Nice. So maybe old indoor practice facility left around, hand me Dahn. Here you go, Mr. Brown. This is now the Bengals indoor practice facility. Let Luke Fickell, a school that is not even in the Power 5 conference ranked in the top 5, let him build a new indoor practice facility for the University of Cincinnati, and then the Bengals can maybe benefit from it. But with all that conversation happening, you got to admit, like, it's shit, Ricky. Like, hey, just because it's small market doesn't mean that the owner can't spend money. Like, that doesn't mean he's still making $1 billion. Yeah. Hey, he's still a billionaire, and just because he's in a small market, even better. By the way, your money goes a lot further in small markets. So that's all we're saying, AJ, right? That's all we're saying.
Yeah, that's just how they've been. And I was laughing thinking of these owners' meetings with all of them flying in their G5s or whatever. I promise you, old Mr. Brown probably flew Southwest middle seat. Like, I know he didn't fly private there. Connector. Maybe he had 2 connectors, too.
What if he took a train?
Oh, that'd be sick.
What if he took a train over there? It took him 5 days to get there. It was the cheapest, most affordable route. He did that. And I guess I can respect it. You know, I just hope that the cheapskate billionaires aren't the ones that are in the league that I like to watch, because I would like to see, money spent, league evolved, things go, teams get more opportunities, the same opportunities as everybody else that happens to be in the league. And a lot of people talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They share an indoor practice facility with the University of Pittsburgh. It's one big building or whatever. They have access to it at all times. It's on the property, though. Like, it's right
They share a facility, though. It's not an indoor. They share their whole facility is shared. It's split down the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. It's really nice.
Yeah, a lot of money in there, by the way. All the big money in Pittsburgh basically goes into that one building almost, and it just becomes its own thing.
That was also built for the Steelers, and then they were like, well, let's just put Pitt in here because we're nice people.
Really?
Pitt now top 10 team in the nation.
Kenny Pickett going number 1 overall.
Coming to the Lions.
Let's go, Kenny!
Kenny!
Come on, Kenny!
He does have one glaring red flag.
Who?
Kenny Pickett.
What is it?
He wears 2 gloves, whether it's 75 and sunny or 32 and rain.
Peyton wore 2 gloves too.
It's a red flag to me.
Peyton wore 2 gloves, and he actually talks about how he said he didn't have feeling in his hand there after the thing. He talked about it on Monday night, I think. And then it just got to the point where that one glove was on rain, no rain, whatever. It just became his new thing.
Not his whole career?
Not his whole career. He ended Denver like that, yeah.
Yeah. Because
Teddy-
Brady has the glove. That's when it came
Yeah,
out
Teddy
on
wears
Monday.
2 gloves. Tom Brady wears a glove.
Teddy might
All the
stink,
time?
though.
What's that?
Teddy might stink.
Whoa.
Well, we keep saying, hey, Teddy Bridgewater's pretty good. He started for like 10 teams at this point. He might stink. He used to be good. Shit, he was in the division. He was
Did he?
tough. He was a
Was
tough
he?
ball player. Yeah, he almost won an
I
MVP
did
that
not
year
know.
for the Vikings.
I did not know Teddy was going to eat some shrapnel today.
I mean, sorry. Teddy might stink.
Teddy's
It's time we start preparing ourselves for that reality.
You keep showing us who you are. It's about time we start
Teddy's
accepting
won
it.
us all a lot of money. Let's
Yeah.
take it easy. on
Well,
Teddy.
maybe that is the case, but Ty, since it does feel like your timing is impeccable right now, it is time that we have to chat about Coach Sirianni's latest press conference. Okay, and if you haven't heard it, Ty will actually recreate it right now. Sirianni, a lot of people will say Coach Sirianni has been ruined by what you're about to see. And after watching, this is the first clip I've seen of him in months. We are helping this guy out, I think. Coach Sirianni, welcome to the show. Great to have you. Could you just kind of re-explain what you explained to the people earlier about your team's failures and potential growth?
Yeah, I basically just talk about where the team is at right now. And basically what it is we are in the manure stage. We smell like poop. We play like poop. We are not very good, but we need to keep going out every day and getting better piece by piece, player by player, and eventually the seeds that we sow on a day-to-day basis while we're competing and going over the different things, day in, day out, is we're eventually, like Tim McGraw says, we're going to see our corn pop up in rows. Okay, we will continue to get better as you gotta work, you gotta go, you gotta water the fertilizer every day, and eventually you're going to get a nice, the roots grow strong, you'll get a nice corn stalk that will pop up, and it's coming. Shoot, no one wants to win more than we do. I mean, I say all the time, we compete, we practice hard, and these guys play so hard, and we're almost there. But we are still in the manure stage, and we need to get to harvest.
Okay, and now run his actual clip. This is alarmingly similar, I will say. Listen to this, AJ. I haven't heard this guy actually speak in some time. I've only heard Ty. Now I feel like I have listened to him speak for the last few months via Ty.
Z's got to reload it real quick.
Oh, no. We had the entire thing ready.
He looks so young, man. He looks really young.
Well, he looks like Ty. Like, I actually see Ty. Whenever I see him sitting down, he has that incredibly swagged out sweatshirt, too. He's got like a little Yeezy type.
The results aren't there right now, but what's going on here is that there's growth under the soil. I put a picture of a flower up, right, and that it's coming through the ground, and the roots are growing out, and the roots are continuing to grow out. And everybody wants to see results. Shoot, nobody wants to see results more than us, right? We want to see results too. But it's really important that the foundation is being built and that the roots are growing out. And the only way the roots grow out every single day and they grow stronger and they grow better is if that we all water. We all fertilize. We all do our part. Each individual coach, each individual player, everybody in the building, that we do our part to water to make sure that when it does pop out, it really pops out and it grows. And so that was my message today. And so I'm always like I said to you guys before, I'm always thinking of different messages to give to the team.
Of course.
That either messages that I think that really fit to the situation that I've gotten before in a situation from another head coach or that from my dad or whatever. And so that was my message today because we are going through tough times and everybody wants to see results. But just keep doing what we're doing, keep watering, and look at yourself first and know if are you watering and are you fertilizing every day. So when it's time to pop, it'll pop.
Listen to that, dude. I feel like I have actually listened to Coach Sirianni on this show for the last 3 months. That makes sense. Everything you're saying, by the way, makes sense. I get the message. It is just that they stink. And that these messages are hilarious to think about that they're happening. One of 32 NFL head coaches right now.
Well, yeah, he does. I feel like he looks and sounds just like Ty. Like it's hard not to see that. But also, I appreciate him being honest with us and letting the media know everything. But you don't have to give us so much information, man. Like, you don't have to tell us every single thing you tell your team in a team meeting. I appreciate him not speaking in cliches and giving us no answers, but at some point, you don't have to tell us every single little detail of what happens in team meetings.
Coach, just to put a bow on this entire thing, are you going to be like this the rest of the season, you think, if you had to guess? And what's going to happen with the Eagles once that thing starts to pop and sprout a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say I'm probably going to be fired after the season. If we don't somehow win a couple more football games, I'm pretty sure, I was doing this earlier and a lot of people were coming to my defense. Those people are not really there anymore. They don't think I'm some, boy wonder genius. I am. I still am. I mean, again, how many 2-point conversions have we got over the last couple weeks? Quite a few on some of my favorite plays. But, but it doesn't matter. Unless we win several more football games and continue to grow, I probably will be fired at the end of the season.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's uncanny. If it wasn't for MCDC, Sirianni would have been coming into this season with a full head start on the conversation of this guy's one of the most interesting guys of all time because he does not speak in cliches at all. He goes in there deep. I appreciate it. I hope they win some games. That's going to get loud over there in Philly, though, if he continues to stink.
Yeah, he's also lucky for Urban. I mean, that has also kind of kept the spotlight away from old Sirianni.
Oh, and Coach Gruden.
Yeah.
I mean, head coaches have really done a lot. Coach Dave,
chewing his tongue.
I would love to see Sirianni's browser history, like different creative ways he's trying to look up how to motivate a team.
We stink. Well, how do we talk about growth? First thing, manure.
Actually, probably just find a bunch of short clips from Chris Angel Mind Free.
Let's go to Cam in Virginia on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Cam? Cam's dead. Hope everything's all right with Cam.
Peace and peace.
Let's go to Donnie in Charleston, South Carolina. What's going on, Donnie? Hope Cam's okay. Legit. Search party.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Keep it moving.
It's actually Johnny, but appreciate Super Bruce hitting the other day or last week.
Gotcha.
Look forward to it hitting this week. I got a question about my fantasy lineup. I need to set my RB2 and my flex. My RB1 is Aaron Jones, and my other options are Chuba Hubbard, Elijah Mitchell, and Keenan Allen.
I get knocked down,
but I get up again.
You never gonna get me down. I get knocked down. I get up again. You never gonna get me down. What's that, Chubba Wumba?
Yep.
Yeah. The guy singing right there, the solo, he actually is our
island boy.
Yeah, Donnie is an island boy down there in Chucktown, South Carolina. Tone Diggs is our fantasy expert, our fantasy guru. He does put on his fantasy cap every once in a while alongside his cowboy cap because he feels bad that he can't help everybody with their fantasy advice. But old Donnie from Chucktown, South Carolina deserves at least a little bit of a conversation. Do you have Aaron Jones as your one, Chuba, Elijah Mitchell, or Keenan Allen? What are you doing with that? Thanks for your call, Johnny.
I can't.
Take it away.
Come on, Tony.
Bad fantasy time.
Come on, Tony.
Corona Tone's on Sundays on Games with Jim Nance.
Respect that.
Corona Tone is doing benefits for underprivileged children while incredibly intoxicated. Corona Tone is changing the game of football. Fantasy Tone, right here in this studio, is answering questions that we all have. What do we do with the running back position?
Come on, Great question. One that I can't answer.
What?
Tony, come on.
Dude,
you're more disappointing than Corona Tone.
That's fine.
Chuba Hubbard, give him an answer.
Tall.
There.
No, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is your guy, right? Is that
Aaron
what
Jones already in. He's already got Aaron Jones.
One of those other three.
Fantasy.
Chuba Hubbard, though, RB2. Good move.
Dude, Elijah Mitchell.
He's going up against Bears defense. It's a tough run defense.
All right, I'm going to hang up.
No clue, though.
Last call.
Go to hell.
Before AJ hangs up.
No, I'm just saying the flex situation. I'm not sure what's going on.
I don't know any of it.
The hypothetical fantasy points that could happen. I'm not thinking it's fantasy. It goes right over my head.
You know, a lot of people send me tweets, and a lot, I think, like 10 a week, and say, we need to focus a little bit more on fantasy football. I'd like to let you know that we only focus on shit that we know about. And
there's shows for that. There's shows that's all they do is focus on fantasy football because that's what they love and they're
great too.
Yeah, it's basically like politics. Like, we don't know nothing about politics, so we don't talk about it. We know nothing about the real world. We don't talk about it. We know nothing about fantasy, so we don't talk about it. But I do agree that our show could benefit from a fantasy guru maybe opening his suckhole and giving back to the sports community a little bit. And that's what Fantasy Tone could do. Let's go. He's opting out of doing, though, in this particular moment. What's that all about?
I got my playful. I like gambling better than fantasy, so.
Let's go to Debo. By the way, early reports say gambling will probably be the death of fantasy football.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
But fantasy football will always have its...
Fantasy football is... You can just gamble with that, though, right?
So that was the initial kind of open of the door, I think. Daily fantasy was okayed in places and everything like that. But now the gambling has come into a lot of the same platforms where fantasy is. And the I believe the trends are fantasy was cool, but anytime touchdown score, my knowledge that I have in fantasy could be benefit over here a lot more. And people, I think it kind of happens. Now, granted, there is incredible fantasy footballers out there that'll always do it and respect and appreciate the art of it and have an incredible skill and ability, which is a lot of time commitment, big brain, the ability to make decisions. Like, I have the utmost respect for it. But from what I have seen on the internet via reports is that sports gambling will potentially eat the fantasy footballers if it goes to more states.
Also, to win like the fantasy and win like the daily or weekly, you have to create an entire lineup and then beat thousands of people. Or you go to the gambling side, use the same information that you have. Like, hey, I think this running back's going to do good, and just have that running back do good, and then you just win.
And you don't have to think about chugging a gallon of milk while running a mile and getting tattooed on your face that you stink at fantasy football.
Boom.
Right.
Amen.
Now, granted, your account will have $0.00 on it on Monday, though, and that is depressing enough.
Oh, yeah.
Very tough. I stared that down the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. That was tough Mondays. Overreaction Mondays were almost no Mondays because there's 0.00 in the account every single fucking Monday. Let's go. Last call here. AJ on the 5-Energy phone line. Go to 5energy.com. Use promo code McAfee. Get 10% off. They have so many great flavors.
Oh, it's the best.
So many great flavors to get you energized for at least the next 5 hours.
Hell yeah.
Let's go to Debo in Columbus. Debo, OH.
Go Blue!
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I think he's called before.
Yeah, I just remembered that. Debo.
Hey, man, how you doing, Pat? How you doing, boys?
Keep it moving, Debo. What do you want to talk about?
Man, I want to talk about this trade deadline and some moves that could be made. One of the things that's not being talked about, I think, honestly, the Browns are probably at their highest trade value right now if they happen to move OBJ, and I think a team like the Cowboys or maybe the Packers could jump up and grab OBJ, or if Miami gets Deshaun Watson, they could flip maybe Xavier Howard who wants out for OBJ and put Watson and OBJ together. And I think OBJ could be one quietly on the move, man. What you guys think?
Debo, are you a Browns fan?
I'm a huge Browns fan. I've been a fan of the Browns since Bernie's hung over ass with sidearm in the ball.
Okay, I respect that. Shout out to Kozar for sure. But the thought that Browns fans would like to move on from OBJ is vastly different, I think, than the rest of the NFL's thoughts on wanting OBJ. Now, Odell Beckham Jr., one of the most electrifying football players of all time. We can all agree that. Incredible. I think he's getting like $15 million this year, and then next year it's no money. So it's no dead cap. So assume that nobody is going to want to trade for OBJ at this trade deadline, but look for the Browns to potentially move on from OBJ and a new team be his home after this season because the way the contract is set up, AJ.
So is this the last year of his deal?
It's not the last year of his deal. It's the last year of guaranteed money, though. So everybody just assumes that is the last year of a deal, basically, which is how the NFL operates. And maybe if things had gone better here to start this season for OBJ, without the injuries, without the potential miscommunication with Baker Mayfield and everything going on, maybe a team would have wanted to get him, but I don't think the Browns would have moved on from him if he was balling as well. I think everybody kind of understands the contract situation. So Debo, even though maybe some Cleveland Browns fans want OBJ out of there. I don't think that'll happen until the offseason if it happens.
Is he still on the phone?
No, I don't know, but I got to let him know that it's over. You know what I mean? Because I don't
Would a
want
team try to come get like a half-year rental with OBJ and think that, hey, he can put us over the top?
So what's that, $15 million divided by 2, do the math, 7.5? That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Of the three, he said the Packers are the only ones that actually like could use him, I think.
And there's no way they're going to pay him that kind of money for 1 year if there's.
For a
What are
rental.
they going to offer?
To Cleveland?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
They'd probably take like a 5th-round pick for him at this point, wouldn't they?
To get to $15 million off the books?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. Andrew Berry has come out a couple different times because Odell Beckham Jr. has always talked about as being traded. Hey, he wants to be somewhere else. He's going to be somewhere else. He's come out a few times and said, no, we like him here or whatever. And Odell has come out very strongly about how he loves Cleveland.
Yep.
Loves being a Brown. There's always a bunch of noise around there, but I think they both understand that production-wise has to go up, whatever the reason. Whether it's Stefanski's fault, Baker's fault, Odell's fault, unfortunate injuries, whatever the case, I think everybody is probably thinking about what the future's going to be. So are we. You know, every single day. What's the future going to be?
Hell yeah.
For instance, next I'm going to go eat a wrap. I'm going to go eat a sandwich.
Nice.
I'm going to go to the bathroom. I got a voiceover something tomorrow morning, man. I'm a voiceover actor now.
Ooh.
For what?
I can't say that.
Come on, man.
It's pretty good though.
What's the like? Give us a hint.
I shouldn't have even said anything.
Is it for Buffalo Wild Wings?
It's not for Buffalo Wild Wings. I did have to do a voiceover read for Buffalo Wild Wings, and I didn't get the gig. This one I already got the gig, didn't have to try out for. Pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
It's a new time, you know. It's a new time.
That's right.
Hey, we're in a different time, aren't we?
New age.
This is like Pawn Stars. You know, we're in a much different time than we were just a few minutes ago.
That's right.
No, I think that's going to be a lot. They sent the script over. I did not know what I was getting into.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of reading. It's like, I might as well read the fucking books. That's what it seems like I'm going to be getting after here. So I'm adding one to the book club tomorrow morning. You know, I've been on a big reading spree. Hey, what's all, like, is Aaron just going to self-help everybody all the way through this? Are we going to get 18 weeks of, you know what I mean? Is that what's going to happen here? I wonder. Like, I think.
What do you want to throw out? Some you want some romance novels or something?
Something different.
A fiction like The Alchemist. Tony.
Nice. Well, I'm not upset. Like Tony.
Give me a story.
Hey, Tone's tone right there was a bit negative or whatever.
Tone's already figured
He's been
himself
out
out.
of
He doesn't need
control
it.
all week.
Thank you, AJ.
No, and I'm enjoying learning and reading the excerpts of these and listening to Connor tell me what the book is and learning of these.
Yeah, give us holes.
These books existing in the universe, but I'm just trying to like predict for the future. What do you think it's going to look like going forward? Do you think this is all planned out? Do you think it's week to week by him? What do you think it is?
I don't think he has like all of them written down, like ready to go in an order. I think he has them all in his head, and he's like wondering, okay, which one works this week? Like maybe this one does get out here, maybe this one doesn't. Who knows? I'm sure as he's wandering around too, he thinks of other books that he's read that he wants to put in there.
How about him taking that book into the facility yesterday?
Yeah.
Hey, this book club's cool. This is a cool thing. There's a lot of people getting into reading, I guess. Hopefully I'll be one of them.
Oh, yeah.
I got to read into a microphone tomorrow. That's going to take a lot longer than he told me, too, by the way.
Really?
About an hour of work. I don't know. I started scrolling.
You can do it much faster than that. If they tell you an hour, you can do it in 12 minutes.
See, I disagree. What I think is happening, and my words per minute are pretty fantastic. I appreciate you bringing that up and acknowledging that that is the case. I don't know if I can get like Twister or Busta, but I can get going pretty quick in the words per minute department. But I think they're going to have me redo it like with different.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to let you do that. Not a chance.
Different.
It's a good gig, man. Voiceover work is good.
I know.
Could win a fucking Oscar.
I would like to crush it.
You
I
know?
would like to crush it and do well, but I feel like I signed up for something that's going to be a lot longer than I thought. The script came over last night, and it was like, well, I did not know we were doing.
Aren't you just recording it and then sending it off, or are they going to be like real time monitoring?
Oh, they'll be on the call. Yeah, they'll be there.
It's a little bit of micromanagement. They should trust you to do a good job and just send over the file.
No, they should not. They should not. And I'm not a good reader, so I couldn't even imagine if they're setting the tone on how I'm supposed to read it. It's probably the right move to have them listen to it. Because if not, it's just going to be 100%. This motherfucker was doing.
Well, and you might as well only do it once, as opposed to having to, do it.
Do it, send it, do it, send
So they're
it.
gonna set the mood for you too. So like, all right, a little more fire this time, stuff like that.
Yeah, for
Hey,
sure.
A little bit more sad here. Okay.
Yeah, Marvel's not just going to
fuck.
Somber.
What's that?
I said Marvel's not going to just take.
Whoa,
like
Marvel!
Tony.
Why who let the cow out the bag? I will say it's not with Marvel.
Do you get to work with Kevin Spacey?
All right, that's the show.
You know
Big
he's
shout
not
out to
Marvel.
Jet Passing. It's not Marvel. Shout out though. Actually, I mean DC signed The Rock.
Whoa.
And Batman's over there too, right? Over on DC
Yeah.
Squad.
Yeah, but
Just signed Brendan Fraser.
this is a bug windshield type.
What?
Brendan Fraser, the snake guy.
Encino Man? Really?
Yes.
Yep.
The Lion King. What is he?
Scorpion King.
You might know him from
He was
The
the
Mummy.
mummy.
The Mummy, yeah.
Or was it Funny Bones? Monkey Bones?
Encino Man.
He also played Steve Nebraska in The Scout. I'm sure you've seen
Boom.
it.
You know
The only
Brendan
man
Fraser.
who's put on more weight in a faster amount of time than Zion Williams.
Oh, come on.
Unfortunately, that is true.
This is unbelievable. I don't know who Brandon or any of these other Encino Man things are, but I would like to congrats to DC picking up Brandon.
Let's go.
Brendan.
Brendan.
Yeah.
And a baby Brandon.
If you saw a picture of him, you'd
Go.
You'd know him. Well, actually, you might not recognize him now because he has fucking
Come
blimped up
on.
big
Yeah,
time.
him and Diggs have the same eyes.
Oh, Jesus.
Look
guy's
at the
been
eyes.
getting dunked on all day, so now he's going to take a shot at me.
What's that all about? Tony! Do you have similar eyes to this? I don't know who that man is.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't recognize
He's
him.
George of the Jungle.
Show a picture
there
of
it
him.
is.
20
George-
show him-
George.
Yeah.
George of the
20 years
Jungle.
ago.
Actually, the Mummy's his.
Calling card.
Yeah.
Okay.
AJ's stunned.
He's on Marvel now?
Encino Man.
DC.
Encino Man's the only movie I thought he ever did.
What did he do? What's he doing?
He's the villain in the upcoming Batgirl film, I believe.
Who's Batgirl?
Lenny
TBD.
Kravitz's daughter.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
Zoe.
okay. Yeah, she's a good actor.
Zoe Kravitz.
There he is.
You know him. George of the jungle. Watch out for that tree.
I know the jingle.
I know the chick.
I don't know the movie.
I don't know the movie. I thought it was a cartoon. Isn't that a cartoon?
No, it's Tarzan.
He's also in a jungle.
Yes.
Is
He
he
was
Tarzan
primed
too?
to play the Penguin, but he didn't get the role.
What are you saying that for?
He was really wanted
He's
the
calling
role
him a
of
big
Penguin.
fat stooge right now. That's not nice.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Look at this guy. What is this? This is Tarzan?
Yeah,
That's
the
George of the
left is
Jungle.
being George of the Jungle.
Oh my. Does he have is that a live toucan?
It was a live toucan.
Holy
yes.
shit, he's from Indianapolis.
No way.
Brendan Fraser.
Are you
George
serious?
of the Jungle is from Indianapolis?
Get out of town.
Hey, I'm a big Hey, keep doing it.
Hey, keep going.
Hey, keep doing it, man. He looks unbelievable. I'm happy for him. He's what? DC, even more so. Indianapolis dude's on DC.
Boom.
Marvel has the Avengers.
Yes. Paul Rudd.
Zito said we're getting attacked by
Yeah,
German
we
people.
are getting attacked. I'm seeing it.
Tell your people to calm down.
All right, listen. Let me talk to you. Hey, I see what you're doing in the comments. I'm gonna let you know. 9, okay? No, 9 moss, dude. 9 moss in there. All right, no more attacking. What are they saying? Something about ping pong? Are they
they're-
saying something about their
Lips,
show?
German
A lot
flag,
of kissy
eye.
faces.
What is this thing? They did they have spammed my life in the past.
They're doing it now.
There's no reason
There's a
for
lot
it.
of
Get out of here.
Nonstop.
The Germans are coming in bunches.
Sons of
Hey,
bitches.
listen, I'm gonna make my way to your country again, okay? And I've been before, and I've had a blast. The beer's delicious. The party's awesome. The soccer, we beat your teams, but it is not to be held against you in that particular fashion. I would just like to let you know, I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna rent out a little room. I'm gonna put a ping pong table, and all you can just come on in, get this work, and 9 out the other side.
Hell yeah.
Okay, that's what you need. What's going on, Bill?
Bjorn sent them all. He said that you owe him now.
What this fucking guy owe him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
What do I owe him?
I'm joining these
Smack
guys
in the
right
mouth.
now.
Yeah, Zito joined him. Our chat's not even fighting back right now. I've never seen such a thing.
See?
We've been taken under siege here. We're just eating
He
it.
just rolled over and died.
I'm gonna get in there.
Get in there.
Ein gross beer bitte. Then I'm gonna come in there and fucking drop some elbows all over the schnitzels. You hear me?
Wait, what did you do to the Germans?
Well, Bjorn Werner, teammate of mine, friend of mine.
Yeah, I know that. Did you talk about that today?
No, I haven't talked about it in a while, but it
This
seems
is a
like Bjorn.
surprise.
Yeah,
It's a
this is a
coordinated
surprise attack.
attack.
This is
Good.
Good for Bjorn.
This game. What?
It's a
Good for
blitzkrieg.
Bjorn.
This is a blitzkrieg, isn't it?
Yeah.
These ships have taken to the waters, and we could have never expected this.
I'm speaking
Art of
German
war.
right now.
They got U-boats flying around out here.
Oh, jeez.
Be where you don't expect us to be. Sun Tzu has made his way into Bjorn Werner's life, it sounds like. Jesus, they're everywhere.
I said Germany stinks in there.
I'm going in right now.
You said it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it.
They know.
Let me get in there.
My computer's frozen.
Fuck.
Oh, he's hacked your computer.
I just said 9. I just said 9. 9. 9. Another one. 9.
Welcome, man.
9.
Hell yeah.
All right.
How do you
well,
spell that? N-I-N-E? Or?
I spelled
N-I-E-N.
the number before 10.
N-I-E-N, I believe.
Well, they get it.
Yep.
I got a little English.
Do they?
I got a little English. All right, we're going to have to go to Germany at some point. We can't wait to see all of you. I've heard there is an incredible football fandom in Germany. They got a lot of players making it into the NFL now. It's a beautiful place, but I stand by my statement. And we could do this in virtual reality, but you do not want to see me in virtual reality ping pong. I'll tell you that. We will come over, because ping pong is big over in Germany, I think, by the way.
Huge.
Yeah.
Like they grow up, I think, playing it. It's a huge, everybody that I have encountered that has had some association with Germany as a child, very good at ping pong. Very, very good. Just sucks for them. I had a friend who had a ping pong table in the garage as well.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And how you doing? Keep it moving. I appreciate Germany. I do. Thanks for coming into the chat.
It's a battle right now.
like
We're
World War
fighting
here.
back now from what I'm seeing. A lot of 9s in there.
9!
9.
9!
The German said you spell it N-E-I-N.
We have withstood the initial attack and are now pushing back.
Hey, I want to let the Germans in the chat know. Du hast mich on us, dude.
Boom.
I think it means you have nothing.
Yeah.
Is that Matt Damon?
Oh,
No, that's a banger by Rammstein, I think.
Yep.
right. Rammstein.
Rammstein.
I thought it was Matt Damon from the
actually.
movie.
Potato.
Yeah.
Well, 9.
Actually,
They have that sweet song where they count, too.
if we're doing German, sausage.
I will say this. Yeah, sausage, you're right. That's proper. I think proper accent there. I will say this. Their schnitzels and shit, very good.
It's a Wiener's.
Really?
Very good.
Oh, wait for the creme.
Very, very. I don't know about that. Okay, I don't know about the creme that's potentially coming. The potato salad.
Ooh.
Is it kraut?
It's not real. German potato salad's not a real thing over there, I don't think. The beer being at room temperature, actually delightful. Like the beer is very delicious. You go to I got a chance to go check out the BMW factory. They have it's like a museum that they make over there. Their cop cars are all Beamers, by the way. Their taxis are like Beamers and Benzes and things like that.
That's sweet.
It is a very, very, very nice country in my experience. Now, that is recent history.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't need to get in there. But I enjoy the fact that the Germans potentially know that we exist in here.
I enjoy their driving rules.
The,
Go fast.
The Autobahn.
Yeah, I've been on the Autobahn a couple times.
Really?
Yeah.
How fast?
There was one rental car that was wide open. We went wide, like 90-something, 100-something, but it was...
Oh, yeah.
And kilometers.
Yeah, I was on a bus. I don't know what it was in kilometers. I have no idea. I was on a bus one time,
Scary.
and we got blown by. There was 3 Lambos, and there was it was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
It was almost like a race was happening. But stats say that there's less accidents, less bullshit whenever you don't have to regulate the speed limit or something like that. I wish we would maybe pick that up and put it in America more.
It keeps the bad drivers off, right, essentially, because they're scared?
Well, and the left lane is hey, they are going.
I'm going 400 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, they're flying around. Get the fuck out of the chat, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want them.
Well said.
Are they still there or no?
It has slowed down, unless my computer froze.
I don't see as many German
Oh, no,
flags.
it's back going.
What do they say? Man, I wasn't prepared for this. I haven't been in my German brain in a long time. It's kind of rolling out slowly here.
Would you say that's your more dominant brain?
No.
No way.
No, Irish probably a little bit more dominant, but there is a little bit of Italian in there, too. It's kind of sneaking into this.
Not really.
What's that?
Not really.
You
we know
don't
that.
You don't
Less
know.
than 1%. You and Elizabeth Warren.
Whoa.
Okay, Tom. Okay.
What's your deal?
What is
Okay.
All right.
Pal.
Thank you, AJ.
You get in trouble when you claim things like this.
No, all right.
He's not
All right.
claiming.
Well, I'm just telling you what I was told.
You're an
Okay?
asswipe.
Okay, I've been told a lot of stuff. I don't repeat it always.
Well, the email sent it to me from a very smart person. Say, hey,
I heard you die.
He is. You can go out there and be very confident in saying the words.
Don't. Listen.
Maybe tomorrow.
Listen, you already got us invaded by Germans. We don't need the Italians coming in the chat.
All right, maybe tomorrow we'll be back.
Handle that.
Hey, au revoir to the Germans. Okay, we appreciate you guys. Have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is a risk-free same-game parlay Thursday Night Football Thursday.
Here we go.
Tomorrow is a big day because we're going to put – and even if you're not in a state where FanDuel is available, you know, you can maybe potentially ride alongside of us elsewhere or just in spirit because the celebration on Friday is going to be worth it. When one of these same-game parlay hits and we get to dance on the bank account of FanDuel on Friday – I can't wait for it, especially this Feel Good Friday where we're all going to be in Halloween costumes.
Yes!
What are you dressing up as, AJ? This is Connor's idea. I like it. I appreciate it. What are you going to be on Friday? And don't tell us. Maybe it's a surprise.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a surprise.
Hey, AJ's got a lot of costumes. He goes to all those weird.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes to all those interesting
A
parties.
lot of options.
Yeah, he goes to a lot of events where you got to wear
Eyes wide shut.
the interesting mask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. In the costumes and the whole thing. Yeah, he'll bring some heat. He'll bring some heat for sure.
Probably not, but yeah, we'll see.
All right, guten Tag. All right.
Hey, Gump, don't be copying Trudeau's costumes, bud. You know that.
Whoa. Okay.
Come on.
All right.
Okay, thank you all.
In case you were thinking about it, pal.
All right.
Come on.
That's
the
not the
show.
best way to end. Huh?
So that's the show.
The Germans just stopped.
Yeah, they're disgusted.
We did it.
The Germans came in here and said, I can't believe this scumbag.
Yeah,
Beat the Germans again. What's new?
Hey, we did withstand the onslaught. Good for us. I mean, it was toxic. It was ugly. Who would have thought we would have made it this far? But we did.
We did it.
We did it.
We did. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Look at this rechargeable batteries.
Love it.
Oh, neat.
The wife bought these. Hopefully they work. I don't know.
You just got to make sure you recharge them and not throw them away.
Yeah, that's why they're green.
That's going to be an issue because,
Yeah, I know.
like, I just put them back in here. I'm certainly going to go grab them to put them in here once these ones die.
Oh, yeah.
You know, maybe the first time I won't forget.
Sure.
But I had that.
A couple weeks from now.
We have another set, though, so we'll have another 4 put in rotation.
I had that system though where you know upside down in the box, no good.
We're going to
Keep
keep Sharpie
down there.
We're going to have to get a Sharpie and write like
Good.
A's on all those 4, and then
All the B squad after.
Oh, so then
yeah,
we
no.
just rotate them
Yeah.
out. Look at us.
Smart move.
Genius.
There you go.
This is why we beat the Germans in the comments.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, AJ?
Yeah, making simple things, difficult. That's what you do.
What? Opposite.
You don't understand.
You're right, I don't.
All right,
Never will.
See you guys
Not with the
tomorrow.
batteries.
We're gonna hit this same game parlay tomorrow, and we're gonna celebrate.
Hell yeah.
Cheers. See you then.